Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spawncast episode 300. We made it 300 episodes. Do you have something, Evan, for 300? Did you figure all that out?
Yeah.
Got some poppers.
No, it's,
poppers.
The shirt design's up on this. Hang on,
It is up.
Let me swap.
Where's that?
Oh yeah, let's see this thing.
So it's in video now for people in chat, but you guys can check it out at the merch shop. Let me just link it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where's my discount code, baby? I want it right now.
I can get you one later.
Yeah, please. Buy it in right now.
Main cut.
Yeah, look at that. Got that's cool. I like the sky and everything. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Awesome.
Oh wait, who's here? Oh, I said you were with your mans, but now she's here.
Huh? Oh.
I thought you were with your dude.
Oh, nah, you're good.
Evan said you were playing World of Warcraft, and we had to like double take.
Yeah, I was earlier.
Oh,
they're
damn it.
paying
I
you?
got back into
People
it.
think I'm lying.
I didn't think you were lying. I was like, Quick likes World of Warcraft.
I got
people
back into
home.
the new expansion.
Miss Click is here.
The girl comes in and 69mega.com pops up. Looks like we found a girl for you.
It is interesting, Click. So you are playing World of Warcraft now because of this new expansion.
The new one, yeah.
Interesting.
It's been pretty fun. So we'll see. I've had a lot of time to myself. So, you know, subjecting my soul to suffering has been fun again.
It's been a long time since I played World of Warcraft. I was talking to Evan before he hopped on here about when it released, and it was like 2004. It's like, where was I in 2004? That's crazy. That's wild stuff. Good to have Click here though for episode 300. Did you see Evan just showed off the shirt and everything? Did you see it?
No.
It's not on the disc. He hasn't put anything on the Discord yet.
I put it in chat.
On the
I can link it again.
Oh, yep.
There you go.
I'll pull it up.
There it is.
Oh, we have
really
a,
cool.
a protective case for the Switch. What else?
Oh, it's like an actual casing for it.
Yeah. Just with the logo though. Didn't do the art on it.
Oh, okay. Very
Oh,
cool.
it came out so good.
Right? It does look really good.
Oh my god.
Let's see. We have OJ Playerson's here, holding down the pre-show.
Yeah, pre-show was lit, man. First real big pre-show. I think everyone's kind of done with the like holiday stuff. So it was good. A lot of people there. Had a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
Everyone
We talked
getting
about
back
pizza.
to the routine.
Yeah, we talked about pizza for like 30 minutes. So I can't complain. You know, the Niners are doing pretty good with a pretty good record.
Hey,
Huh?
Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
what do you think about that, Sean?
Giants are in the playoffs. What are you
Giants
talking
are
about?
What do you think? No, I'm gonna take you. No, hold up. I got this bone to pick real quick, then we can move on. So remember, there was a little post that you made about the Giants having a better record than the Niners. Remember that?
I remember this.
Probably. Yeah,
remember
probably.
this.
Okay, yeah. So what happened?
But let's be realistic here.
Okay, no, that's all I want to say.
We'll keep the sports talk to a minimum.
We'll make it to a minimum.
The Giants should have been nowhere near the playoffs. They should have won 4
I'd agree
games
with
this
that.
year, and it would have been another piss ass year. So this is all celebratory. This is all good stuff.
It's all house money.
It's all house money. It don't matter what happened. So when we play the Philly tomorrow, they got some training squad quarterback coming in. Like, all right.
There you go.
That's it.
We got Sean RGT here.
Hello.
Good to have Sean here. Hopefully he doesn't turn off his computer and rage quit like he did in Warzone.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was so mad.
They need to do Warzone with like teams of 6 or 8 or something, just so we can get the entire Spawncast almost on there at once and just attempt Warzone.
I think we would do okay. I don't know, man.
think so,
We've been
too.
playing really bad since the start of the year.
MVG, Nate and I won yesterday.
It's trios, though. When was the last time we won a quads?
We landed, Sean died in 10 seconds, and then it just said RGT left the party. He just turned his Xbox off. He just turned it off. He's like, I'm out.
Like, they were like, oh, there's nobody landing here. I'm like, okay, cool. I walk into a house, and then there's I'm getting like punched, and I turn around, and some fucking ginger guy, and he just punches me and downs me, and no one was near me, and I was just like, I'm out.
Sean's been getting picked on in Warzone recently.
And the game before that was terrible too. I died like 3 times, and I was just like, no, I'm not dealing with this tonight. Not doing it.
Yeah, you just got the yips right now in Warzone. You'll figure it out. Well, you didn't say you deleted the game, so I don't know.
I didn't really delete it. I just didn't feel like going back downstairs. I will say I got to watch a lot of MVG play. Have you ever watched him shoot? It's amazing when he's aiming down the sights, dude. It's amazing to watch.
Oh no, he's not even here to defend himself.
You know, it's true though. John knows it's true. He needs like a smig or something where he could just not worry about, just hip fire it. I think.
Is he on controller?
Oh yeah, we all are. We're playing on console.
Click, you can get hey, Warzone's free to play. Anyone can jump in.
I think I have Warzone still installed.
How would you not know? That probably takes up half your hard. Oh, I'll say that should be like half your hard drive going.
I turned off auto updates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh wait, you're talking about the new one, right?
Yeah. The new one.
No, I don't have the new one.
Warzone 2. Yeah, we can tell when people are hacking. So they're on PC.
There are. Somebody said that there's a lot of cheaters and stuff. There definitely are. You run into some weirdos.
But it's an interesting battle royale experience. I like the minis better, so they need to extend that to quads and then come up with an 8-person one so we can all play. That'd be fun.
I don't understand why there's not a mini for everything, like especially solo. Like 150 people in a solo, and then the first 2 rings are like boring as hell. It's just like, what are we doing here?
Let's start up tonight. We do have some stuff to go over, which includes actually a couple of Zelda rumors, and one where apparently the system from the factory leaked out. But over the weekend we had some talk about a movie, which we
haven't heard that before.
Yeah. What is the? I see that's one of the main topics here. I know nothing about this.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
We'll look it up.
We'll talk about that.
Freaking April Fools back in like 2008.
It made me think of the Netflix debacle that apparently happened behind the scenes. But we'll see. It was making the rounds, and I saw like Go Nintendo, a few others had talked about it. But I had one question to bring up with the idea of it in general. And then that system that apparently got out there a bit early. Because that's Sony at CES, and then we had some more details around Xbox's Redfall game, but also may start to put together their first half of 2023 with some of the info coming out now. Let's start though with Evan. Got a Discord question for us?
Do you think we will get Xenoblade 3 DLC physical like Torna?
I can answer that question.
Oh, yeah. What do you think of it?
No. And the reason why I don't think we will is because Nintendo wants the digital sales.
There you go.
They just want the digital sales, and they know that people will just buy it digitally. Xenoblade 2 was more of a abnormal because they didn't know exactly how well that game was going to do, or even how Torna was going to do. They did not know, so they just decided to do it, and they printed it in very limited quantities. Xenoblade 3 has been such a big success, they just know that they can just do it digitally. However, that doesn't mean it is not possible. That is just my opinion on the matter. But I would like it to be, but I think they're just going to make it to where you can either just buy it, you can just buy it separately on the store, or you go through, you buy it like you bought it before. But I don't know. I don't think so, because they barely made any of those Torna, the Golden Country ones. So
yeah, Torna, that's a pretty rare Switch game now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I hope, man. I really hope they do. That would be awesome. But
yeah, for the collection and everything. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great. And the DLC is going to be, if I think what it's going to be insane. Like, you're going to want to play that DLC. Like, I don't want to spoil it for people who, haven't beat the game, but if you beat the game and you see who you see at the, all that, it's probably going to be surrounding them, and that's going to be lit. So people are going to want that DLC. So I hope it's physical. I really do.
You have another one for 7?
What video game series or franchise do you want to get more into in 2023?
More Trails of Cold Steel. I had to put that game down for a bit. I need to get back to it.
I think they just dropped an anime for that series.
Yeah, I think they did. There's so much stuff with that series. It's ridiculous. They have like another, I don't know, like 5 or 6 games for it coming out. Something crazy.
I don't know that there's necessarily something.
I feel like if it happens by accident.
Yeah,
like by accident. There you go.
Or something like,
wow.
Metal Gear Solid gets another, they get some re-releases or something. Like, I'll jump back into those. Oh, there's Monado Mario.
I'm not into first person shooters at all, but I am gonna check out Redfall. I want to see if that can be a type of game that that I want to like play because it looks pretty cool. Doesn't look incredible, but I mean I'm just excited to get something like a big Xbox like first party game. So I'm gonna try to get into that.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I guess we'll start with the Zelda rumor / potential leak. We'll start with the system because I'm trying to figure out everyone's take on how the system looks right now, but from what we can see, it appears that there were shots from, I guess, the factory line or basically at the end when they're shipping them out. Pictures were taken, and it's a full OLED Switch with designs around the Joy-Con that kind of incorporates that green highlight and accent to it. And there has been debate back and forth on if people online think it's real or not. I guess we can start with that. People think it's real? Do they think it's fake? What do we got?
I think it's real.
I don't think the design is bad. I just I was hoping it wasn't gonna be green and more of the teal color.
Interesting. Okay, the green, not feeling the green.
I know green and gold is like the Zelda thing, but it's not as green in the actual game, you know what I mean? Plus like the actual like Triforce design, it has been used in like some of the other like textbooks and stuff on the covers. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched if they just wanted to use the same asset. I don't know, man. It's gold. We wanted gold, so that's fine. I don't know. I don't like the small border. Like the print doesn't go all the way to the edge of the Joy-Con. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to me, it's like it just feels like a weird design choice.
Monado Mario said great stream and that they love your cameo, Sean.
Thank you.
They're calling me and Mudshock out.
Cameo.com/RGT85. I'll pretty much do whatever.
There you go. I was looking at those Joy-Cons and the back is white. That kind of threw me off a little bit. Like it has that two-toned design.
I didn't even see the back. Oh yeah, you're right.
I just wanted the Joy-Con just gold Joy-Con. It doesn't have to get like a crazy with just gold Joy-Con. And they decided to not necessarily play around with the OLED Switch body as much. I mean, it has like a texture or like kind of a print design on the back.
It's got the border, yeah.
I just put like just do the basics. To me, you don't have to get too fancy with it. You can just Triforce here, gold Joy-Cons there, and maybe a little green on one, and then you can call it.
I just feel like the green's a little distracting for me. I don't know. I like almost everything else. It just almost looks like the green looks like a sticker. But I'm not gonna complain if it actually comes out. That's cool. Now, would I pick it up?
Yes, you're buying it.
I'm really bad about like just buying multiple of things I already have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's called an investment. That's not buying something. That is an investment for me.
It's called a tax write-off, is what it's called.
It's an investment and it's a tax write-off for me because that thing's gonna be worth money in the future. So I'm buying it.
But are you actually ever gonna sell it? Just because it's worth money, are you ever?
Two, baby, just like I bought 2 of the Animal Crossing ones.
You'll just do a giveaway with one.
Probably. Hey, I got a giveaway going right now for the Switch OLED. Check it out, boys and girls.
Yeah, I saw.
I am giving away a hell of Switches.
That's how I am though. Like I'll buy stuff with the investment mindset, and like the Messenger from Special Reserve Games. I think I bought it for $60. It's selling for like over $250 new on eBay, and I'm like, holy shit, I need to sell this. And I'm like, do I really want to sell it?
That's a good game.
I own it. I played it digitally. I never opened this. Yeah. I bought it and I put it on the shelf. It just sits there and looks at me like all of this stuff does, and I'm like, stop looking at me. Why do I have so much shit?
Do you start to like look at it and it just transforms into something else you want, like the new muffler for your car or something, Sean?
It transforms into cash, and I just look at it and I look at all this cash, and then I think of all the totes that I have in the arcade room behind the black curtain of all that stuff in there that I haven't touched in at least over a year, and I'm like, there's so much money in there.
Look, it's every now and then you just gotta like. I told myself like, look, I got like what was it, Fire Emblem Three Houses, because like I got like the Seasons of Warfare one from Nintendo. I kept that one. Then I bought like 3 more. I did like one giveaway and I had 2 more. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just sell one of them. You know, I've got a lot of them here. Let me just go and sell. Dude, those are like 400. Some of it mint, right? Yeah. So it's like crazy, like how some of this stuff goes up in value, man.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah. So I sold it and then bought a bunch of toys for my nephew.
I got a copy of what's the name of Yomawari. It was a NIS America game, and they sent me a digital copy, and then they sent me a physical copy. This physical copy is worth like $300 now because it's like the collector's edition. I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, what is going on here?
It's like it's the print runs. You know, it's like they don't make a lot of them. You know, so and it's already obscure. So then it just becomes like rare. You know.
I'm trying to think of what the special edition system would be that I would want to get. Like, because I already have the Switch. I have a bunch of Switches. I'm trying to think of what it would be. Maybe Metroid if they did a really good one for Metroid Prime 4. Although that might be cross-gen. No, not really.
Collect that from you.
I got the Mario one.
That one's interesting.
Yeah.
It came like with the case too. That was interesting.
So I was trying to collect my Metroid Prime 4 Switch. You get the game. You get a nice, clean, sealed copy of Metroid Prime 4.
Like orange, yellow, and green. A little bit of red. That'd be pretty for Metroid.
No, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do with that.
Or
thing.
they go dark. They go dark.
The 3DS looked. I think the 3DS looked good.
I don't remember what was the 3DS.
It's kind of actually the colors you're kind of describing right now. I think it had Samus on the front, if I'm not mistaken, or it was on this. Let me check it out.
I don't remember the 3DS Metroid.
Yeah, that they did that with Samus.
It's where
Turns,
she's like leaning and shooting.
Yeah, look at the prices for that thing. Goodness gracious.
Well, I mean, the 3DS in general is expensive, but I can see how the special would be even higher. Yeah,
this one's going up to $500.
Yeah.
Well, that was like the freaking Zelda 2DS bundle that they had forever. That they were selling for like $99 all the time at Black Friday. That thing skyrocketed in price.
I should have invested in 3DS more.
3DS is pretty expensive now. Yeah, it's gotten up there.
Man, what am I saying? I'd get that Switch.
Of course, you're getting the Zelda. Oh my gosh!
I have the 3DS. I'm just thinking. You reminded me. I have the Zelda 3DS. I have the Zelda Wii U. I have the Zelda Wiimote and Nunchuck.
Yeah. I
have to complete this set.
I feel like I would buy the Joy-Cons if they sold them separately, just to have the quote unquote Zelda controller for the generation.
Last episode that I guess we filmed it. I'm like, they missed the whole market of just a la carte Joy-Cons, like customizing, choosing your combinations, but then also just being able to buy them by themselves. Labs. Yes, missed opportunity, Nintendo. Missed.
Struck out. Swing. Miss.
So the other thing that's going around, this apparently just came out. What was this, like yesterday? I saw OJ. You were talking about this on your pre-show as well.
Was I?
This was the Zelda, the Legend of Zelda rumor that was going around for a movie. Apparently this is coming from a site called Giant Freaking Robot.
Oh yes, the classic.
According to a couple people, including Go Nintendo, they had sources that predicted things like Henry Cavill not returning to play Superman and Hugh Jackson being Wolverine in Deadpool 3.
I love Hugh Jackson.
So there is a track record here apparently, and they are saying that after the Super Mario Bros. Movie, or really now would be in development, would be an animated Legend of Zelda film with Illumination.
Okay, if it's animated, I'm okay with it. If it's animated. If it's animated, that's my only like caveat for a Zelda movie.
This just went up like yesterday for this rumor, just ahead of the
animated
weekend.
Like Mario Bros, like the Mario Bros movie animated, right? Or animated like
the new one that's coming out.
It could be like the Castlevania series. It'd be fine.
Oh, like anime.
Anime type. That'd be cool.
I would actually prefer that if it was more like that than.
It's easy to believe because you see what the Mario movie's looking like right now. So there's a budget behind it. They weren't just, we'll go halfway with this thing.
Yeah.
I think as much as like no knock to actors and stuff like that, but like recycling actors, it's one thing for like voices. I know like the Chris Pratt joke and everything, but if it's animated anime, I feel like you still have much more control over the content versus actors like just getting bad directing, or maybe they don't know the characters that well, like being able to act as characters that we would like to hope. Like same with Metroid. I don't want a live action Metroid. People are like, oh, but this star would be so good as Samus or this or this. Bro, no matter who they would choose for Samus, no matter who they would choose for Link or choose for Zelda, they would never ever be pleased. I think the conversation of like who is the voice for a character is much more tolerable of an argument than someone literally like being that character.
The only thing that would worry me is that they have to have a story be told with Link. Like, is he gonna be talking?
Yes, he would talk.
That'd be interesting.
He would have to talk. It'd be like they'd pull the
They could do sign language.
Just
point at things and stuff.
Link actually he talks in the games. You just don't hear him talk. So
we at times they allude to it, but he could also, like Sean's saying, kind of just be pointing to stuff.
I feel like they could handle it really, really well. Like, God forbid, maybe something happened. Like, it could be like freaking. You think of like Marvel or DC, you know, like falling in a vat of poison. Like something like happens and he loses his voice or something, and then like towards the end of the movie, he's like Pikachu. All of a sudden, he starts talking. You're like, what?
Yeah, Tingle could follow him around and just be the voice.
He would talk. He would have to talk. I think he would have to. It'd be like I know this is a game, but what was it like? Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's like Violet barely says anything. Then Warriors comes up. Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes, and Violet's like, hey, what's up?
True.
What's cracking, guys?
Yeah, it was.
How's
yeah,
everybody doing? My name is Violet. How you guys? And everyone's like, huh?
Yeah.
I don't I mean the idea of it being an animated movie, that's fine, and I mean it would do well as Legend of Zelda. It makes sense to go to that after Mario. I would like to assume that we would see something that I guess would require even more creativity, like a Metroid or an F-Zero would be interesting to have that.
F-Zero would be freaking awesome. Are you kidding me?
I'm just good on like there not being movies for every single thing.
I mean, yes.
Oh, I mean, why not take a shot?
But money.
I don't mind. Yeah.
But
there's
money.
A lot of money. Yeah, there's a lot of money on the line, and I think that if it's like we don't need movies and series for everything, but when it's done well, it like kicks butt, right? Like, look at the Edge Runners. You know, look at Castlevania is incredible. Like that is.
Castlevania was good.
It's so good. Like so, like when they do it right, it really makes like the series like you want to see more. You know,
Dota was pretty good too. I was watching through Dota. I think they did good.
Okay, yeah. So that's that's why I was like, I agree with Sean. There doesn't need to be everything, but man, when it's done well, it's really done well.
Also, Mario's going to do well in theaters. I'd be curious to see how Zelda would do in theaters.
It'd be tough, man. I don't know. Part of me is like, I want it to do well, but then the other half of me would be like, I've been playing this Zelda since it was cool, and then it's like that's the
interesting thing about the movie industry. They just tell you what the box office is.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad, they're like, here it is, and that's it. So we would get actual numbers pretty quickly as to how revenue was opening weekend, and hey, we'll see how these movies would. I think Mario is going to do some ridiculous numbers.
Because I'm actually going to go watch that, and I don't even watch the movies like whenever stuff, you know.
But so I could see how a mainstream average consumer might be like, Zelda, I don't know about that, and just kind of pass on it. I could see that, but like Mario, I feel like would grab people with kids or just in general.
Did mainstream? I know the Sonic movies did okay, right?
They did really well.
Yeah, but I guess Sonic is a little bit more of a.
It's kind of that general audience still.
Yeah, recognizable.
Think about how many people are going to see that poster and call Link Zelda.
That's literally what I'm saying. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I remember Zelda.
Yeah,
he's great."
You put them both on the cover. Then you have Princess Zelda, and
there you go.
You make sure that there's no, even put their name like this is Princess Zelda right here.
Nah, bro, you know it's gonna be like that IGN freaking. Oh, like I watched.
That's the one thing I'll give him. I have to assume that movie poster is gonna look awesome if all this turns out to be correct for Legend of Zelda, because they have some really cool artwork for some of these different Zelda games, like
It's
Twilight Princess.
gonna look like an
looks awesome.
Avengers. It's gonna look like an Avengers
I can see
freaking
that.
poster.
I can see that.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
everyone on there.
Like
Yeah.
it to look, that would be cool too. But remember like the Twilight Princess posters that were going around and
That's
stuff?
exactly. Yep.
That would be really cool if they can do something like in that style. I think that would look great for like a movie poster.
Yep, that's the one thing I'll give. I bet you they'll have a really cool poster for it if it ends up being a thing.
If this is real.
So if let's say they go Mario, and then we'll just pretend, or they then go to Zelda. What would be the next franchise after Zelda then?
Like major? Or just,
Mario.
like,
Yeah,
anime?
like you're
They'd
trying
make
to build
they'd make
your
a second Mario.
your trifecta here. Mario, Zelda.
Okay, I thought we
I
were
think
talking anything.
I think Splatoon
Like
would
what
be.
would you then go with? I mean, what would be their next big
Splatoon would be the
franchise
one
they
that-
feel the need to
I
lean
think
into?
Splatoon,
Splatoon
like
would be the one that I'd have to do. That you'd have to do Splatoon next.
by
I think.
popularity. I feel like you could really make it work. Like Splatoon, I really feel like you could do it. Listen,
Everyone
I would
says
love
Donkey
Star
Kong.
Fox.
Donkey-
Donkey Kong would be cool, but technically he isn't. He
he's
isn't
already-
Mario, so
yeah,
he
he's
could get
already
a
in
spin-off.
Mario. Yeah, I mean, he's already in Mario.
Because I'm like Splatoon. Yeah, it could be it could also be like a
Give me a
TV,
Splatoon
like a
show.
streaming series.
Yeah, show, like a
Show.
series. Yeah,
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
I could see that. I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of what would work well on like the big screen. And people are saying Star Fox, because if you do
love
something in
Star Fox.
space, of course, that can lean into the idea of having these big IMAX experiences. So you could do a Metroid, or you could do like a Star Fox, or
I would love
The
Metroid.
cat want. What does your cat want? Like the cat
What
wants.
do you want, Penelope? What do you want?
Punch Out. Oh, Punch Out.
Punch
That'd
Out?
be fun.
Yeah, like,
No, that would never work.
it would be goofy as hell. They'd have to make it some type of like goofy ass movie or something like that. It wouldn't be like Creed or anything like that. don't know.
Bayonetta would definitely be one of those
that would
rated M
work.
Netflix shows. That'd be
Yeah.
that'd be
They had a
crazy
Bayonetta.
cool.
They've had a movie, and it was.
Yeah, they have like they have,
What?
It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't incredible. It was good.
Was it
okay.
animated?
Yeah, it was animated. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's because it's not that.
Sure.
Let's go over. Evan, you got a Discord question for us?
What game do you wish you could experience for the first time again?
Metal Gear Solid 3.
That's a good one. I almost want to say Metal Gear Solid 2 for that, just because especially if I didn't know a lot leading up to it, and I thought I was Snake all the way through. Like that was a pretty cool moment.
All right, spoilers. Jeez.
We've been through this. I told people what happened in Final Fantasy 7, and that was a problem. So
You told people there's an Airbuster song. You're like, what? How dare you just spoiled Airbuster?
No, I told him that that's a good track. I told him that Sephiroth killed Aerith in Final Fantasy 7. It was a big deal. I'm like, dude, that game came out in the 90s.
I mean, Click hasn't played Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3, so she doesn't know what
Well,
we're talking
I'm well
about.
aware that when I jump into Metal Gear and I finally get a chance to play it, whenever they decide to bring it over altogether, like the smart people that they should be, I'm not gonna remember half the stuff you guys talk about because it's gonna be convoluted as fuck.
You pay attention.
Yeah, she's
to these
right.
people?
We could sit here and try to explain the entirety of Metal Gear to someone, Sean, and they would still play it and be confused and
Yeah, but-
surprised.
Impossible.
But
Have
you could
guys ever
explain.
watched-
You
have
could
ever watched
explain the whole.
retrospective, Sean?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched like a in-depth retrospective of Metal Gear?
No, because
Dude, it is
crazy.
batshit crazy. It doesn't even make sense. I watched it and I'm like, I don't think I still get it. I thought I knew Metal Gear until I watched that retrospective. And I'm like, I don't know Metal Gear as well as I thought I knew Metal Gear.
oh no, it's crazy. Yeah.
that it doesn't make it. I don't think it makes sense.
Click
even after
when they
explaining it.
when they bring these other ones over, because I fully expect them to at least get 1, 2, and 3 onto all platforms again. You gotta play through
One?
one.
You sure about that?
I think so. I think 1 will show up. I think 2 and 3. I think they'll just do it all. And when they do that, Click, you
What would
gotta.
they call the collection?
I mean, they've already released the collection several times.
Yeah, they pulled it down, and then
they
they pulled it down
Essentials
recently.
collection.
They say they're gonna release it again, is at least what they said on Twitter. So
Well,
when
do
they
it, you
do,
cowards.
you gotta stream that playthrough. Click, I'm telling you that people love seeing streamers play through Metal Gear for the first time.
Yeah, Halo was fun getting to go into the Master Chief collection. Mass Effect was fun with the Legendary Edition. So I mean, do it for for freaking Metal Gear.
Yep.
I'll play it.
Yep, absolutely. I'll buy it again.
I'm tired of like having to pull up different systems and I'm not doing emulation. Like that's too much for me. So just bring it all to one place and I'll give you my money. So
Yep. Very good, very good. You have another Discord question, Evan?
Thoughts on busy work in games?
Side quests.
Well, not even
busy
side
work?
quests. I'm guessing like
Fetch
non-streamlined things.
Yeah, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Like grinding?
Example?
Sort of. No, there's no example, but like busy work. It's like the concept of having to, I guess, like in Minecraft, go out to find a specific element to mine.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of busy work.
Something later.
When I go to because I finished up Pokemon Violet the other day, and in the game itself, you end up doing things like the same thing over and over again at like these star bases, and the same thing being go in there, throw your Pokemon out, walk around, have it wipe out 30 Pokemon, and it doesn't take too long because you're probably over leveled for it anyway by then, but you do it every time, and it's like why do I have to do this? It doesn't really make any sense. So you end up spending 4 or 5 minutes doing
that. Or is that just non-level scaling?
I mean, it feels like work. It feels like it's just keeping me busy. Like they had to come up with something for me to do before I fought the boss, and that's what they come up with.
Okay.
I think it depends on how fun the mechanic is.
Okay, that's yeah.
I think if the mechanic is super cumbersome, or if like you have to grind levels or something, and it's just like a chore, that's what makes it not fun. Versus like for example, like I guess in a way, like if you want to platinum a game, that's not really me. To me, that's all busy work. But like Spider-Man mechanics are really fun, and like I could see myself, if I wanted to sit down and be like, I'm gonna do this busy work, it'd be more enjoyable than something like what was it, Octo Expansion? People being like, there's so much grinding you have to do sometimes. Well, or not Octo Expansion, Octopath Traveler, and like having to grind for certain bosses or levels or something. It's like I think it depends on the mechanic.
It's like in Spider-Man, you got to collect the pigeons, and that's just extra. Would that be considered? Does that be considered busy work? I'm trying to think of what they exactly mean by that. But
yeah, so I'm confused on exactly what he means by, not confused, but I'm not. He needs to like single it down to. So donate again. And put what you mean.
I think
put what you mean.
Like the freaking sewers in Final Fantasy VII
that just feels
remake.
Bloated. Yeah,
that to me was like probably
work?
that I would say like you get your point across. You know what I mean? The first 2 puzzles, and then you have like 3 or 4 more, and you're like, I'm not even halfway done.
Yeah, that game was like 30 hours. It should have been a clean 20 hours. Whatever that whole.
You know what I'm thinking? Maybe he thinks, okay, so like Xeno 2. Like, remember how you can like send your blades out on missions?
Yeah.
Like, and then like for like town building stuff, it's like, it's not, you don't need to, but there's some good benefits, but it's just kind of like, you just do it. There's just a bunch of like busy stuff if you just want to add it in there. So maybe he's thinking along something along the lines of that, like not necessarily need to do it, but it's just there, but it gives you good enough benefits to where you're like, okay, well, maybe I have to do it. So it just ends up being like, I'm just doing this just to do it, you know?
If I don't have to do it, and it like, again, I don't really care about platinum something, I'm just gonna skip it.
Okay.
I think the first Horizon Zero Dawn, I think I beat that final boss, even though like they don't really tell you there's recommended levels. You're supposed to have certain levels that you are for Aloy. I think I was like 10 levels under leveled, and I kept dying to the boss, but I'm like, I'm not going back and leveling up. Like I'm done with this busyness, and I think I spent like a whole afternoon trying to beat that game, and it was good, but not going back too much for me.
Yeah,
Talk about
final boss in that game. But you said Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn, yeah.
Damn, I just like shot it a couple times and it killed over.
No, yeah, I was so under level. I think that's like the only game I beat off stream, because that was like a couple years ago, and I took like the entire month of January off, and I was like, F it, I'm just gonna beat this game by myself. I wish I hadn't, because it was good, but yeah, no, it was like I was just so done after a certain point. I just went through everything. I skipped all the side quests. I just did the main story, and I was under leveled, and I was like, F it, I'm too stubborn. I'm not going back.
Let's talk about Sony at CES, which, by the way, CES felt kind of slow this year.
CES never has anything.
What?
I don't understand why you get excited for it, because there's really nothing ever there.
What? No, CES is fun. They got stuff happening there.
When was CES ever fun?
Hey, they revealed the PlayStation 5 logo there. It's a big deal. No one saw that coming. It's a time where you see some interesting technology, is what I'll say. They never give you a price tag, rarely give you a release date.
Gran Turismo movie, Sean? No.
I mean,
let's go through their presentation, actually, because Jim Ryan was there. He was there. He showed up.
Medallion says there was lots of urine on the show floor at CES. So that's what I think was actually there.
I'm sorry, what?
Urine.
They have let's see. They talked about Gran Turismo was a good portion of this PlayStation show. It was just, I mean, they have their movie coming up. They talked about the AI that they developed with Sony and Polyphony. The movie, I was trying to, I didn't look too much into the movie until they started talking about it here. So the premise is it's a true story. I don't know, Sean, do you watch any of the Gran Turismo players, the professionals or anything?
I have before.
Okay, apparently it follows the story, true story, of a person who was, I guess, a professional Gran Turismo player, and they eventually became a professional driver outside of the game.
I saw that.
Yeah, I did not know.
Right?
I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, there was an episode of Top Gear UK where Jeremy Clarkson played
one car, one track. I think with the rings, and he played it for like a week and then went and tried to do it and beat his time or something.
Yeah, he tried to get the same time. It was actually very interesting because he's a very good, or especially at that time, he was a very good driver. But like he ended up finding out that when you're playing a video game, you could brake a little bit later because it doesn't have that same sensation of when you're actually in a car and it's in your face. And like, even though well, technically I could go 90 through here and then brake and get down to 60 and make it around this corner. It's actually doing it and making your body do it and like controlling your mind. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. So that's a thing, apparently. I did not know that was an actual story that happened, but they're making a movie out of it. So
wait, is it Jimmy? It's not Jimmy Broadbent, is it? The heady time traveler said it was Jimmy Broadbent. I actually watch him a good bit.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm not.
I know he did when Gran Turismo 5 held its world competition. He was one of the guest announcers for it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was not sure, but hey, exclusively in theaters. They made a point of that, by the way. I think that's a thing we're seeing more and more now. They definitely want to separate themselves from it's going to be streamed in 2 months. Nope, exclusively in theaters. So they have a premise that it's more compelling than I was picturing when I heard there was gonna be. I think I heard there was gonna be a Gran Turismo movie, and my first instinct was just how, but that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. We then had Gran Turismo 7 as a PSVR 2 game. This is, I think, one of the most obvious ones. They've done VR in Gran Turismo before. I'm not shocked to hear that they're doing it in Gran Turismo 7. They showed some footage of it, and it looked like Gran Turismo 7. That's the problem with VR. You kind of have to actually experience it in person, or it's not gonna resonate. So free upgrade too. Couldn't believe it. Jim Ryan said free upgrade and PS5 all in one sentence. It shocked me. So they're not going to charge a $10 fee for that. But that'll be one of the games I'll check out immediately on the PSVR 2 when I pick that up. They had live service games being talked about by Haven Studios and Bungie. Still have no idea what Jade Raymond and Haven Studios are working on. But I've heard them talk a lot. Interviews.
What's she done like the past decade? Just asking.
She took a lot of money from Google. Hey, that's pretty good. She got a lot of money from them.
Pull the ninja when you can, man. Like if you can get that deal, get it.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know though, because every time she comes up, people just go like Assassin's Creed, right? That's that sort of thing. So I'm still trying to figure out what exactly they're making. It's a live service game. I don't know if it's going to be another Destiny or if it's going to be a social live service game where it's closer to what they did with PlayStation Home or something. But She was right there next to Bungie. So whatever she's working on, it must be pretty impressive for Sony. They did talk a lot about virtual real worlds merging. They talked about metaverse a lot, while also talking about their PSVR 2. I want people to realize this. So I think they might try their own VR chat PlayStation Home thing again, just the way that they were hyping this up. Okay, they also had Beat Saber. Okay, Beat Saber's a good game, but it's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. Project Leonardo. This is cool. It's an accessibility controller that they've created. It looks. I'm not really sure how it would be necessarily used, but that's the idea. It's customizable. They have all kinds of ports to plug into, and it seems like it's going to be set up for all kinds of different positions and uses. So it's, of course, goes along with what Microsoft has done with their own accessibility controller, the adaptive controller. So it looks kind of strange, but they probably did a lot of research and work on it to make it so it can adapt to a bunch of situations. So.
Can I speak on that real quick? I think that's one of the most underutilized things. I know most of us that are playing don't have the disabilities, but that's something that it's like really cool. Microsoft's you can use, I think, with Switch, you can use with everything, but it's good to have each company come up with their own disability control. So if I could pick something that I thought was the coolest thing, it'd be that, because like I said, we all take it for granted that we have, all our fingers and everything like that, but there's a lot of people who don't, man. So honestly, like for real, that's cool that Sony said, all right, we're going to do something like that. I mean, we'll see the price though, but
I think I was surprised at seeing how many people be like, so what? Xbox did it first. And I was like, bro, the more is better. Like this is something awesome. Actually, one of my favorite things is I went to back when University of Florida, they would have like a giant Smash LAN, and they actually had a whole engineering department at the college that literally when the Switch first came out, they took a whole like department of that department, and they were just creating a bunch of like 3D printed type of controllers. They had the GameCube controllers, the Joy-Cons, the Wiimote, nunchuck. They had all of these different designs that they were coming up with and like showing them off and stuff. And it's so cool because like the more is better. So I think those comments were really surprising to me, because like things like that's the ingenuity coming out of events that to me are really what's worth it, because that's what helps more people enjoy things that they might not have been able to enjoy and have just been waiting from the outside. So congrats to them. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's good. We have Microsoft has now created one, Sony created one. I'll be curious to see if Nintendo eventually takes a shot at it.
I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they have.
It did take Sony. I mean, think about when Microsoft did it to where now Sony's doing it. It took years. So I
know it's not easy. I know it's not easy.
Project.
And Microsoft's works with the Switch, but it'd be good if they all had their own official one. And if it was priced, I don't know what Microsoft's is priced, but
I feel like it's because you can buy some of the pieces separately. I don't want to say exactly what it is, but it's I can look it up real quick. The Xbox adaptive controller is $100.
It's not bad. I
$99.99.
Wish it was a bit cheaper, but it's not bad.
No, I mean the customization they have for it's pretty in depth.
Yeah, and not cheaper. Yeah, as long as it lasts, and just cheaper, so it would just be easier for people with disabilities to afford. Not because of any other reason outside of that. Because I know controllers are expensive as hell. Hell, there's a regular pro controllers, and those are easily hundreds of dollars. And I know this one's probably more expensive to put together, and all. But yeah, no, that's still not bad. I guess 100. We'll see what Sony's costs.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see that. They're still in the Project Leonardo title phase, so it seems like it's still a little ways off. It could come out by the end of this year potentially, but it sounds like they still have some stuff to iron out for it. But I would like to see that. Microsoft have theirs, Sony have theirs, Nintendo has theirs. So we'll see if Nintendo has something to share in the future there. And we did have so we had Sony reveal that the PS5's now sold more than 30 million systems. Jim Ryan also said that from here on out, they should be easier to get a PS5, and I can attest to this personally because I saw a PS5 at my Walmart. So
I I went to Walmart a few times, still haven't seen one, but my area is crazy with video game sales because we still have all of our GameStops around here because they all do well. So maybe that's part of it. But
yeah, I took a picture, posted up. I'm like, here it is. There's a PS5 in the store. Can't believe it. Somebody bought it. It's not there now, but a bunch of PS4s also. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 bundles.
I did see that. I saw that behind the lock case. I did see a couple of those Modern Warfare PS4 bundles. So I'm guessing people are probably buying those. That might be a good collector's thing to pick up.
Yeah, I thought about that collection wise. It's a slim PlayStation 4 console with the Call of Duty bundle. Interesting, but yeah, hey, we'll see. We'll see. This year coming up should be pretty big for PlayStation if they can indeed start getting everything in stock.
And there was actually more, just not here in America, but in Japan, the PS4 usually doesn't sell much anymore, but I think it sold like 3,000 units the last week or so in Japan, which is a lot higher than usually. So It seems like Sony, they'll kind of push out a few more of those new PS4s here and there.
Huh, interesting. I mean, I guess technically God of War's on it.
Yeah, that's true.
There are some third-party games like Exo Primal, Resident Evil 4 remake. Those games are going to the PS4, so
it's probably for God of War, to be honest. It's probably. And of course, COD. But yeah.
Yeah. And they shifted over to the other thing. So they did PSVR 2. Then they went to their mobility line, which is their new car. And the only reason I put this in here, it's called Afeela, is their new car brand. Sean is the car guy. How do you feel about that name, Afeela?
I mean, my dad had Afeela with the Afeela Jerry Stackhouses from 95.
I remember Afeela the brand. Name. That was kind of a cool brand back in the day.
No, Afeela was dope. Afeela was dope.
Yeah, it was cool.
I liked Afeela.
I had some Afeela boots.
They still make clothes and shit too, and they released some of their older sneakers. Like I think they re-released the Stackhouses and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I noticed about this, the delivery to customers is until 2026. So it's like 3.5, almost 4 years till this thing even makes its way out to consumers. Unreal Engine is going to be used to create what they call is like their mobility ecosystem, I guess. But they did showcase PlayStation 5 games in the car. PlayStation 5 games will be playable while the car, I guess, drives you to work or wherever you're going.
So what you're saying is PlayStation 5 will still be here in 2026.
Oh yeah. It'll definitely be here in 2026. I think this generation of console will probably run until 2028, most likely.
How long has PS5 been out?
2 years.
Yeah, should have been delayed.
It's a PS5 in your car. How do people feel about that? You get to a point where you can just play games in your car because the car will drive you places.
Hold up.
Seems like a liability is what it sounds
That was
like.
Cool. Like
that was a thing. We had that back in the day. We had the PS2s, the Pimp My Ride. They always put GameCubes and PS2s and Xboxes in the back of people's cars or in there. So this is just a modern way of doing it.
I had a GameCube in my car.
I was going to ask.
And I had an NES. I had an NES in Benzo too.
We used to play Madden after our football practice. We would hang out at my friend Reed's car. He had this nice truck, and he'd pop it back there. We would just sit there and play Madden on the PS2. So this is just a way better way of getting it done.
Yeah, it can drive you while you're playing Horizon Forbidden West. Apparently, that was one of the games they showed off.
Drive you to your death.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
Right.
But then again, normal drivers are pretty bad too, even when they're controlling the car.
This is true. I mean, people who have to drive an hour or more even to work, that's a lot of time you could spend playing a game back and forth every day.
Wait,
2 hours a day.
But did you guys hear about that guy? I think it was in his Tesla, and like he fell asleep and his car started driving him, and then he went on a high-speed chase. The cops were chasing him.
No.
While he was asleep.
No.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Dude's asleep and the cops are chasing him.
No, that's not real. There's no way.
Real.
I could imagine it being real.
Or was he just in a Tesla and then he's like, "Oh, I fell asleep." Oh, I guess they have cameras in there. Technically, you could prove it that he was asleep.
They got cameras all over the place.
Yeah.
People worried about their identity, but they fucking suck Tesla's dick. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Well, I mean, I feel like maybe it's just because Twitter craps all over obviously everything Tesla now, but I feel like
But they used to love it. They used to fucking love Tesla.
They did. Everybody bought a Tesla, and
go
now all of a
Sean.
sudden it's uncool.
Not wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I guess that. Jeez. Did you hear about the guy who just got arrested because he tried to literally drive his Tesla off a huge freaking cliff and kill his wife and kids, and they all lived.
Yes, I did hear
And then
about
he
that.
got
Yeah.
convicted because they had the car recorded it and proved like him talking about it before it happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that all of his family survived. That's so awesome. But it's
What
not
a
awesome that he
fucking
drove off a
loser.
cliff. Yeah, what a
Fucking
weirdo.
loser.
What a complete weirdo. But thank God like that family survived. Because they're gonna die usually most of the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Give a shout out to Gene Park in the chat there.
Hey, what's up, Gene?
Gene!
Good to see Gene coming out. Yeah, good to see Gene.
R.I.P.
See,
Gangsta
real
Boo. R.I.P. Gangsta Boo.
We need to say something good about Gene. Gene has incredibly good taste, much better than a lot of you guys here. He rocks the Air Jordan 1s all the time. Air Jordan 1s, fantastic shoes for the price, the comfort, the look. So shout out to my man Gene.
Penelope,
Clean Air Jordan
say
1s.
hi. Come say hi, Gene.
We go to T Joe here, says upgrade to premium to play some of my
Come say hi.
PS3 games on PS5, only to find out that I can't load my saves because DLC attached to them is not available. Ooh.
Say
PS Premium, those PS3 games messing up. Gotta make that emulator. Let me go, Evan. We have a Discord question over there.
Who will have a presentation first this year? Nintendo, Microsoft, or
man.
Sony? I mean, I guess
Well,
the CES
I've seen,
stuff we would count, but
I've seen like 7
gosh.
videos this past week about how there's a direct coming soon. So.
I
I
got
didn't make a single one of them. So get off my nuts.
I
Ew.
I got to go with Microsoft. I think Microsoft's up first. I think so. They have to be. I think they do. Let's see. Go to
That wasn't the question though. Wasn't the question Sony or Nintendo?
Oh, I thought they said
it was all of them.
between all
Oh,
of
okay.
them.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, if it's between Sony and Nintendo, I'll say.
You know what?
Hmm.
I think Microsoft is probably gonna have something maybe closer to the Redfall rumor. So maybe that's like a March or April type thing. At Sony, we'll have to wait and see. I think they just had their CES, so I think maybe it's Nintendo. Maybe Nintendo has based off of the past 10 Directs. Shout out to my man Paul Gale for the info. February is like 60% likely out of the last 10 years. So I think maybe mid-February or early February is a good spot for Nintendo. There's some games coming up. Obviously, Kirby's going to be coming out that in February. You have the Bayonetta game coming out in March. And of course, Tears of the Kingdom isn't too far away there. So yeah, I think that it could be early February Nintendo, early to mid-February Nintendo, and then maybe Sony.
I think so too. I think Nintendo moves in first half of February, but I kind of think Microsoft does something in the last week maybe of January.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I think they'll have something. It's not I don't like E3 or anything like that, but I feel like they'll have their own little presentation. Just don't make it 2 hours long when it's like 20 minutes worth of information. Microsoft, please don't do that. You don't need. It doesn't need to be a live presentation with people on stage. It can just be your own presentation. Just bring release dates, please. Let's see. We have
release dates are good, but at least we've got. I mean, look, we've been hard on Microsoft. We got games this year though. Starfield is coming. Redfall. It seems like it's coming, and I don't even care if Redfall's that good or not. It's just something, you know.
Yeah, we'll talk about Microsoft actually here in a minute with Redfall. But Travis with the little bird, thank you, Travis. Jeff says I reached the point where I can't tell the difference in graphics when toggling between graphics and performance mode. Can you tell the difference? If so, what TV you use? I'm looking to upgrade. I could tell the difference in Horizon Forbidden West because when that first came out and you toggled it on, there were like jagged edges everywhere and it looked very weird. It had a shimmering effect when you move the camera around. I think they worked that out a little bit in the updates, but that one to me was very noticeable.
I didn't notice the difference until I turned the like appearance mode off, and then I turned performance on, and then I was like, holy crap, this is so different. And then I kept performance on. It looks good, but yeah, no. Toilet in the background.
In TV I have the LG that basically everyone seems to use. And I also have a Sony OLED that I'll have in here. I Live for Retro says, do you think Nintendo's next hardware will include a camera and a mic like the 3DS and Wii U?
I was just thinking about that the other day.
Oh yeah, that's true. The Switch doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Good.
I miss that, like playing the Wii U games. You had someone with that Wii U pad with like the double chin angle. Do you remember that? It would like literally show their face as they're playing.
What game were you playing? What game was that?
The Nintendo Land. Like you
Oh,
literally,
okay. Yeah,
it's filming the person from underneath. I'm like, that's what she sees.
I kind of feel like they probably will put a camera and mic back on, but yeah, it would play into the communication aspect that I think they might try. Sad says Quest 64 is a good game.
No, it's not.
Who is that man? Who is
Sad
that man?
Who this man?
Can you ban him from ever? I don't care if it's a joke or not. That's a terrible joke. That game ruined childhoods for people. That game ruined things. You don't understand.
Sean G says, congrats on kicking cigarettes, Sean.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Congrats,
hell yeah.
It's been 4.5 days.
Wow.
2 more to
Hey,
go.
it's a start.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good, man.
How you feeling though? You all right?
I'm all right. Slightly more irritable.
Yeah, you yell a lot on Call of Duty. It's just because what happens when you die in Call of Duty, it cuts your voice halfway through. I don't think you've realized this yet, Sean. So it's really
clips.
funny. It cuts his voice off when he dies because he has to go to like the gulag. It stops you from being able to talk to your teammate. But for some reason, when Sean dies, it just stops mid scream. So he screams as he's dying, and then just cuts, and it's just silence on his end.
Well, sometimes I'll throw my headset and stuff.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah,
all
like
right.
I'll throw the controller down. And
It's
like,
just you screaming, and then it just cuts. It's like I guess Sean's gone. I don't know. Because you start a sentence and then you start yelling.
yeah,
Like you'll be talking about some normal thing, and then you're like, "There's a guy in here!" And you just yell really loud. He's just dead.
I can imagine it.
I keep telling you gotta stream Warzone.
No.
Gotta stream Warzone.
Can't do that. It had to have a 25-second delay.
You scared you're gonna say something?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know I'm going to say something.
It's Warzone. Have you ever heard people talk? It's Warzone.
What? Okay.
I have one word that I can't get out of my vocabulary, and it's always going to be there. And it used to be fine till like 4 or
Stupid.
5 years ago, and then all of a sudden it became a big thing, and it's like, all right, thanks Twitter.
It's pretty funny though. Maybe we get one of those 50-second delay in the beep for you. Maybe that'll work.
I just have like a button where if I start getting angry,
Yes.
I'll just press the
Yourself
button.
these.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
see?
awesome.
There it is. That's what you need, Sean.
It would just be like that the entire time.
Yeah,
I would
check it with-
absolutely press it after he says the word. Like, oops.
I think-
you would have messed that up.
I think people would watch, and it's hey, we win, we get some wins. I think people
We
would
haven't won
have a blast
shit
with it.
since Christmas.
Okay, well, you haven't won. All right.
I'm out.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. But we just need that 8-person one or that 6-person one to get, but everyone from the cast in there at once. Let's see. We have Zoob saying, "Glad we got to ruin RGT's Christmas."
Yeah, well, Balan.
Oh yeah.
But somebody had AEW had a sign that RGT85 loves Balan. I've been on fucking AEW more than Baron Black lately. What's up? Where's my contract?
Spooky says, "I saw your video, Miss Click. Congratulations, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Cheers to a better 2023. Also grateful to have a Spawncast on my birthday. So shout out to Spooky Nurukami.
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Let's see. We have Steak says, congrats on the life update, Miss Click.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. The outpouring of support was overwhelming. So thanks.
MTS says, anyone here play Stranger in Paradise Final Fantasy Origin? I did. I did not enjoy it as much as I was hoping I would.
Was that chaos?
Yes.
Chaos.
I told myself I'd go back someday, but I don't know, I just did not like the game as much as I was hoping. Cristobal says, Happy New Year, Spawncast. Much kudos and congrats all around for a better 2023. Game sales abundant. Would you guys get 13 Sentinels or Live Alive?
Ooh, that's tough.
That is actually pretty tough.
Yeah, that is a really hard pick.
Huh.
Like
13 Sentinels closer to that visual novel style. Live Alive a bit more like
Live
old school
Alive.
RPG.
I think Live Alive is probably a more accessible game.
it's really going to depend on what you want. Like if you're looking for more of a story-based game, 13 Sentinels has one of the greatest stories of all time. It's incredible, but it's not super gameplay heavy. There is a RTS type of game in there, whereas Live Alive is definitely more. It has a great story, but it's really more gameplay focused. It's like a lot of gameplay, at least for most of the chapters. So it really depends on what
you say that, but the first chapter I played of Live Alive was the Western, and I was bored out of my
The Western
mind.
is so good. What are you talking about?
Oh my
It's
god,
awesome.
I hated it. The credits were rolling, and I'm like, I
so
want my
good.
hour and
The
a
Western
half
theme
back.
that would kept kicking in. I
love that one.
What I
Oh
mean
my
by
god,
gameplay
I'm
focus
sorry. No.
I mean that there's a lot of like RPG gameplay in the game, like actual traditional RPG gameplay, whereas 13 Sentinels is literally like it's like a really cool, like high quality visual novel with some gameplay segments in there, like with a good number of gameplay segments, like RTS, like gameplay segments, like you're like in these huge robots, but you don't actually see the robots. It's kind of just more like menus, like you do, but it's kind of more like menus picking. So it just depends. But no, I hear what Click's saying. No, I hear what you're saying when it comes down to like some of the stuff in Live Alive. But they're both really good. So it just depends, man. It's tough. 13 Sentinels is cheaper though, if that's a thing.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
Casey says, where is the Metroid internet blabber coming from?
God only knows.
Wait, Metroid,
It's from Reddit, and there was a source that's been right about a lot of stuff. It says, you think everyone's primed and ready for the new year. So now everyone's thinking that there's something Metroid Prime related coming, which will probably be that Prime remaster. But remember, we're coming up on 4 years since they told us that Prime 4 had to be basically restarted. So maybe Nintendo realized that and is like, we'll throw something out there, a trailer, an update, and oh yeah, here's remaster. Boom.
yeah, the guy got Tears of the Kingdom right too, so that's why people are giving him, like, nobody guessed that name,
Right.
Tears or anything like that, and he got that right before,
Word for
so-
word.
He said, what did he say? He said, are
played
Zelda
in
fans
tears.
ready to cry? Ready to cry
joy.
tears, you know,
Yeah.
of joy or something like that. So he was obviously doing a play on the name of the game.
Yep.
So
That's basically it. And obviously people are expecting something from Metroid Prime 4 at some point. I mean, it's been 4 years since they said they restarted development, and they probably restarted it before they came and told us. So it's
always funny with these rumors though. Like a lot of them are obviously like not true. There's a lot of stuff that isn't, but the ones that are just so random.
Yep.
You know, like they're just like the Kingdom Hearts. Remember with Sora? Some dude's like, yeah, man, I work for Disney. I like, yeah, it's Sora. He told us like that in like June.
yeah, just put it out there. People are like, yeah, whatever.
He was like, yeah, you know, it's Sora. Everyone was like, no, it's not. And then, no, it was Sora.
Charlie
And he
said,
even told us the day of the presentation.
Yeah.
He got the
Double
day
down
of the
on it.
presentation right too. He was like, yeah, it's this day and it's Sora.
Charlie says, RGT telegrams me every time I make a comment on his video. It's getting old. How come John's channel doesn't get it? Not sure if Player Essence videos get it. At this point, everyone's getting it.
Yeah, I went into my editing thing, or my, what's it called, community, like
The
whatever.
banned words.
Yeah, and I just put banned words, and I put Telegram. I
did that too.
Telescope. I put
Wait, what?
everything with telephone. I put everything.
What
I put
happened?
Telegram where each letter has a space in front of it. Like it just fucking
It just doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't always work.
Well,
But it's
the
been
problem
a
was
little bit better.
it bans the words in the comments, but not like the names. Supposedly, like the usernames just go through.
Yeah.
Demolition Man says, Happy New Year, guys. When will the shirts and Switch cover be on sale? Also, finish collecting all the Spawncast jerseys.
They're up.
They're up now, Demolition Man.
Go.
I bought a shirt. I already bought mine.
There we
I
go.
don't need another hoodie, but I'm getting another hoodie.
I'm gonna buy a tank too. I think I'm gonna buy a tank top. I bought a regular, so I think I'm
Of
gonna
course
buy
you
it.
would.
Well, summer's
You buying
coming
the
up.
women's Razorback?
Summer's coming up. It's January.
Get that women's Razorback that you won't.
No, I'm not. Maybe I'll buy one for my wife, but no, summer here starts a lot sooner than summer for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Summer here starts like March, boom, it's already ready over here. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but the beanie's so cool too.
It's embroidered.
Oh,
Oh.
embroidered.
Yeah, I kind of want to buy one, but my head's normally bigger for most hats that I purchase, so it might be a wasted purchase for me.
Kevin says, what are your top 3 most anticipated games of 2023? For me, my top 3 are Final Fantasy 16, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh man, can't go wrong with that. Those are great picks.
You might just name mine then, because I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, Final Fantasy 16, Resident Evil 4 Remake. I'm trying to think of like the top tier ones that are like, all right, these are the games that like if I had to have 3.
Leave out Engage because Engage is coming out in 2 weeks. So I'll just leave that out.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So for sure, Tears of the Kingdom, no order. Tears of the Kingdom for sure.
Yeah.
RE4, yeah, have to. Dude, it might be the same.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, those are like the pillars right
That's like
now.
everything.
I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the same. Oh man, those games are gonna be incredible.
Yeah, those. Yeah,
Yeah.
That might be it. That might be it.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, those are great games. We'll see how Starfield is. I mean, but I haven't seen enough of it, and I haven't seen enough of Zelda. But I know Breath of the Wild. You know, like I just already know that.
Yeah.
You know, from there. But yeah, that's good picks, man. Dude, we're Street Fighter's coming out. I mean, I'm excited for like to watch the competitive scene. Like if we did like what am I excited to watch? I'd say Street Fighter's right up there because that game's gonna be insane for like Twitch and all that. And,
It feels like it's gonna be a good year in games so far setting up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm
Yours
excited.
stacking up. January we got Persona. Those are remasters, but still got Persona. You got Fire Emblem. February you got Atelier. You've also got
We got Dead Space remake coming up soon too. That's
Dead Space. Octopath on PS5.
I'm gonna
PS4.
attempt One Piece. We'll see.
Yeah, One Piece. I'm definitely
Straw hat guy. Look at
Hey, at
that.
3 days, I'm on that demo. Let's go.
Yeah.
Will you wear a straw hat in your video?
I
for
will
it?
not.
Come on.
You totally should. John,
Come
you
on,
should
pussy.
In a red vest.
John,
Do
you
it.
should cause Halloween.
Do it, John.
Luffy, do it, John, please. I just thought about that.
Dude, I don't.
He doesn't have a beard, but you've got the physique.
John, it gives you a reason to not really wear a shirt.
How many straws do I need? Because I can only hit so many McDonald's around here.
Also, Roger's base might
That was a
dump his
terrible
girlfriend for
joke.
you. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to get with Roger's base. If you ever wanted to date Roger, that would be your time. All
There
right.
you go.
How many straw? Jesus Christ, John.
You're about to make this man start smoking again. Stop it.
Seriously.
Now Warzone 2 will do that for me. that'll get that job done.
Or the Knicks.
Or the Knicks, yeah.
Hey, they won 4 in a row. They didn't lose this whole week, so
There you
that
go.
definitely helped.
So like the Cowboys, though, so whatever needs to go wrong will go wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Dorkable says, Happy New Year, Spawncast. I've been following you all for years now. Love you guys.
Love you too, boom.
Future says, Happy New Year, guys. Congrats, Miss Click. Trying to get back into gaming this year. PS5 has been neglected for 2 years now, but it's hard between work life and gym. Trying to find time is difficult.
Yeah.
It can be.
Agreed.
It can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ethan says, RGT, please do my panel for a free place to stay. Don't want to offer the room to Abdallah. Congrats on not smoking. There you
Abdullah
go.
the Butcher.
No, I think he's talking about the content creator.
There you go.
The content creator.
They do say, hey, congrats on not smoking.
Thank you.
There you go. They say to the rest of you, thanks for being the right spot every week through 2022. I guess being here 2022. You're welcome, Ethan. Thank you for stopping in. Tijo says, John, I know you're somehow tired of the school setting for JRPGs, but I think it makes for great narratives with mature themes and dark stories.
I think if you go outside of a school, you could probably have more mature and darker tones.
I just feel like I've the classroom's been used a lot in RPGs. It's becoming very noticeable.
It's been heck, man. That's why people are like, oh, well, I kind of missed the Three Houses class. I'm like, no. Like I'm okay. We can move away from it for once.
Engage seems a bit more interesting to me. So that's why I'm like, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why.
I don't mind it, but there's already so many that have done it. Pretty much like every Persona game does it, like every mainline Persona, and those are all great. But there's nothing wrong with trying something different, you know, like just having it not be the classroom setting, which every RPG isn't. But there's nothing wrong with, you know, having some that aren't, you know.
Yeah, that's why Engage, like I said, it looked a bit more interesting to me just because of that. So Thomas says, RGT, I mentioned you to my friend Mike of Sega CD Universe once, and he said he knew you. I couldn't tell if he was messing with me. Was he?
No, I know Mike. I talked to him. I've known him for a long time.
There you go. Sean says, can you imagine how upset people would be paying for custom Joy-Cons and having them experience stick drift? Perhaps they were avoiding that situation.
It still happens.
People still pay a lot of high prices for.
People are paying way more for like custom painted ones and shells and
a lot of them.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't even use them anyway. They'd probably put them up somewhere and be like, "Look how cool these," you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Click's not talking about like complete custom. I think she's just talking about just being able to have different order your own, right? Just like whatever colors that they already offer, order your own of that pair. You know, not necessarily you can do any type of design that you want. Just hey, they have this one, they have this one, they have whatever, and you can just because in Japan they have that. You know?
For like example, they had that one set come out. I think Nintendo actually sent them to me where like one's orange and one's purple. I'm like, this isn't a color combo that I would pick. I would do like blue purple or you know a white and purple or just something like that. You know, like just let me mix and match. But
colors that they already offer, just colors that they already have in certain ways, and just being able to
like actually have a team. Actually have a team be like, okay, for every special edition set, we'll have a special edition Joy-Con pair, and then if you want to order those a la carte or something, that just gets added to that already existing shop. I'm not talking about like you're designing it. This isn't like a Happy Home Designer kind of thing. I'm just saying like, just have it be its own dedicated section. People would pay money for that.
Okay, let's move over. Let's talk about Xbox a bit here, hitting the big three this podcast. And Xbox 2023, they're getting started. Like I said, I think they're going to have something in the next, I'll say the next month, just to be safe. But I feel like they'll have some small presentation. And part of that appears like it might be Redfall, as we're starting to get reports and rumors get thrown out there that Redfall is targeting a May release. And I was trying to figure out exactly the release schedule to go with. I think we talked about this last time, that it might be Forza, Redfall, then Starfield in that order. And the thing that surprised me here is we got information for Redfall, and everyone seems confused because it's not the kind of game we're expecting. Like, what did we talk about Redfall appeared to be when we saw it?
Left 4 Dead.
It looked like Left 4 Dead, right? That's what I thought. I feel like most people were thinking that. They're like, okay, this is a game where you and a couple of friends go around and blast undead enemies and creatures and stuff. They are comparing it to Far Cry. So it apparently it's not Redfall, it's Far Cry. There's going to be kind of like an open world setting, but not one where you necessarily need vehicles to get around. So it sounds like it's gonna be a bit more focused, maybe not. I guess you could say smaller as well.
But like, why say that? Let Redfall be Redfall. Like, I don't understand why a company would compare it to another game that especially when that company has nothing to do with Far Cry. They didn't make Far Cry.
Do you think they were scared that if everyone was saying
Arcane.
it was...
Let me see the person from Arcane.
Do you think they'd be scared that since everyone was saying it was Left 4 Dead, that when it drops, all the reviews might get hit because everyone was like, we were expecting Left 4 Dead, and now we don't
but
like
you
it.
could have said something like, we've been seeing comparisons for Left 4 Dead. Redfall is a completely new experience that is different from that sort of game. Like, I don't feel like you need to compare it to another franchise, especially a franchise that has nothing to do with you. Like, this seems weird to me. I don't know.
I mean, we're talking about.
I see where Sean's coming from with that, like, you know, how they went about it. I think they kind of went about it maybe like, hey, look, we don't want like what Evan said. We don't want people thinking it's this. Just, you know, Far Cry is an open world like RPG shooter, right? Like, that's kind of how Far Cry games are. So maybe their game, they just want people to know it's kind of more like this. Expect that, but with our own Arcane. I mean, usually they make most of the time better than Far Cry, right? Or at least most people like, maybe not most people.
Arcane's pretty. They're pretty good all the way around when it comes to their quality of their games.
The quality of their games are more polished than Bethesda's.
Yes.
Or sorry, than Bethesda. They are, but more polished than Ubisoft's games.
Dishonored, Prey, Deathloop, all highly rated games. Deathloop just recently in the Game of the Year nominations even. And it's a very good game. I like Deathloop. But this one, 4-player, so you have 4 different characters you can play as. You can cooperatively work together, and there will be kind of like a home base that you can get side quests from, or just main quests, or you can just walk out into the world and do what you want, essentially. And it sounds like it's going to be kind of smaller scale battles when you come across different enemies or groups of enemies. They'll have full loot system and progression. And they talked about specifically Diablo mixed almost with the formula of Far Cry. They're trying to explain exactly what they're creating here, because based on, I mean, let's face it, based on the gameplay and stuff we've seen, we're trying to figure it out, and we just keep coming back to Left 4 Dead. So maybe that's why, Sean, they're like, all right, people can't seem to figure out what we're showing them. Let's just tell them it's an open world cooperative shooter with Diablo loot mechanics.
Yes.
I am very interested now in this game. I was kind of looking past it because of Starfield. Like when they announced the delay and they were like, hey, Starfield and Redfall are delayed into next year. The big deal was Starfield. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, Starfield's getting delayed into next year. This is ridiculous. And not a lot of people had mentioned Redfall as much. They were just like, okay, I guess, whatever, fine. But
I think there's some hype behind it. I was watching, shout outs to our friend Randall, Xbox 2 podcast, and it seemed like people were like, hey, they're liking it a little bit more now, maybe.
Yeah, Arcane's pretty good. That's the reason I keep looking at this title and keep an eye on it. And now we got all this information, and I'm thinking, okay, Arcane, with kind of their story and their narrative they can set up, the quality, the idea of this having that progression loot system. I'm hoping it works well in terms of cooperative online play. So if a bunch of people just drop into a world, they have it figured out so that the progression makes sense for everyone. That sort of thing. So that it seems like it's going to be set up to be a PvE kind of, or player versus environment kind of game. So I'm hoping they have that worked out when it comes to encounters and all of this. So I like what I'm hearing. I do. So I'm hoping we get some more information about it. Like I said, towards the end of this month, and they drop that May release on it. That wouldn't be bad either, because April Forza. Is Forza still the game you're most looking forward to, Sean? Out of these 3, or is it Starfield or Redfall?
It's definitely not Redfall.
Okay, yeah, you don't seem that interested in Redfall.
It doesn't. Nothing I've seen is like, wow, I must play this. Like, if it wasn't on Game Pass, I wouldn't even.
I guess that's the other benefit. It's on Game Pass. Yeah. I guess you really, because you didn't really do Deathloop either.
No, I played it for a little bit, and I was like, okay.
Is it Arcane? Maybe is it Arcane?
It might be, because I don't like Dishonored either.
You don't like Prey?
Yeah.
I like the original Prey.
The one where they played Don't Fear the Reaper as you're
It was Barracuda! It was Barracuda.
You didn't like the newer Prey?
I didn't play it.
Oh. The newer Prey is pretty good.
It ain't the original Prey.
Oh gosh. You should play the newer one. It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
Probably.
Okay. Maybe this will be your first Arcane game that you really like.
Let me look at their list of games real quick.
Okay.
Is it K or C?
It's ARK. Yeah. ANE.
All right, let's see here.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, no. I don't know what Arx Fatalis is. It's some PC game.
You can kind of
Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. No.
Sounds
Dishonored. I didn't really care for it. I didn't play Prey. Wolfenstein Youngblood was fucking terrible. Deathloop was fine. It just never really gravitated towards me in Redfall. I mean, they haven't really done that much stuff.
And the Dishonored slander, man.
I never thought it was anything. I remember I ordered fucking Resident Evil 2 for GameCube from GameStop, and they sent me Dishonored 2 for the PlayStation 4 instead. And I was like, what the fuck? And everyone in the video was like, oh, you swapped it out yourself. I was like, why? I don't want to play this game. And then I ended up playing it, and I was like, I don't really like this.
Hey, Redfall might be it. Here we go. All right.
Could be.
Could be.
Probably not.
It's on Game Pass. You'll at least try it, right?
Exactly.
There we go. We're in. All right, cool. Good. Yeah, I'm hoping for a release sooner rather than later, but if it's May, that's the way it is. So
It's gonna be May.
Is that so? If it's May, is that the first Xbox game of the year?
I think the first Xbox game of the year will end up being Forza.
That's what I thought the whole time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sorry, intrusive thought.
It's I think Forza's the I think Forza's the one. That's the first April, right? April
for you. Sorry, okay, I'm done.
I was hoping for like March.
I mean, I
but
guess
yeah,
they
it'll
could
probably
still
be
do it in
April.
March. It's Forza. We know what Forza is. If they show up at the end of January and say, "Hey, it's on Game Pass, March 23rd or something," I don't think anyone's gonna lose their mind and be like, "This is terrible."
No, because I mean, all they have to do is just show it's a little different, and I want to see the damage physics and see how they're handling the online portion of the game. But I'm excited for it. And Starfield, I don't think Starfield's coming out till like October or November.
Man, so on their website for this game, they doubled down, and once again, it all went live pretty recently, and they said it's first half of 2023.
Yeah, but things change, John.
Yeah, that seems like a good June release.
Does it? I think that seems like a holiday release.
I mean, it was
That's
a holiday release.
A big holiday release from Xbox, because you're not getting Perfect Dark, you're not getting Fable, you're not getting any of these other games that we've heard about, but we haven't seen anything from. I would think.
Go ahead, Sean. Sorry, my bad.
No, I was gonna say, I think if I'm Microsoft and I'm spacing out these games, why am I gonna blow my load in like 3 months? Because I have to get these out before.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you exactly why. Because these were already delayed games, so they shouldn't hold them all the way that long, right? They were already delayed. So if they're going to be ready by
but a game like Redfield, a game like Forza, that's probably a lot more complete.
Redfield, look at this, the arcane slander already.
I just don't think that Starfield is done or near done or has all the bugs and all the quirks worked out. Whereas a game like Forza and a game like Forza's using an engine that's been around for a very long time. Redfall, it doesn't really but that engine doesn't really lead itself to problem free.
It's been decades. They still haven't figured it out.
You don't foresee them like launching it out and then needing patches?
Yeah, that's what
I mean, they'll do that regardless of when it comes out.
They'll never be done fixing bugs with this game. It'll just keep going and keep going. They'll never be done if they really want. But so just get it to the point to where it's just not crazy. And then, because if you just keep on delaying it, or it's just never going to stop, because there's always going to be tons of bugs in these type of games. So just release it as long as it's good enough, because you already delayed it. And then, bam, patch it. And do the best that you can. But I think that if it's ready to go, like if it's good enough and to the point to where it's not bad and they can patch out like minor things. Obviously, you don't want it to where it's like where there's major issues. And you want it to be as good as possible. But really, I think that I know it's them, but it's unproven a little bit, right? Like it's not Elder Scrolls, it's not Fallout, it's something brand new. So I think a June release where you're by yourself, you're not going to have as much competition. Well, yeah, Final Fantasy, never mind. But if it's like around that time, I think it might be good. It might be solid to release it at that point, right? Isn't it kind of cool to get really big, like dope, like RPGs in the summertime? I think that I personally like that a lot.
I feel like they could drop it there, and then I mean, they could have their holiday titles be something like a Hellblade 2.
But why do you assume that there is going to be a holiday title?
There might not be, and they don't need to have it. Microsoft has proven that they don't need to have any games at all, and they can still do well. They don't need any first party games, like any big first party games, and they sold decently because of Game Pass and because of Xbox Series S. So I mean, if they don't have a game in the holiday, okay, Sony didn't have a game.
Well,
in
they
the
could
holiday.
have. I'm curious about like
2021.
Like Stalker 2. I know that's been delayed obviously because of stuff going on in the world, but they have been showing it more and more recently, and it was I mean, it could be delayed up to a year, but maybe that makes its way into the holiday, and then they put it next to Hellblade 2 or something, and then obviously other third-party stuff. So I feel like they could release all this stuff in the first half and then still have some stuff for the holiday, just because their studio's been working on stuff for so long. It's like it's time to start pushing these things out. So I'm hoping they get this out. I'm hoping I'm thinking now, looking at this, that Redfall is going to surprise some people. I'm hoping so. Arcane generally does well, so I'd like to see a good multiplayer looter shooter that feels different from what's become very normalized now in games. So and at least looks different, right? It's good. It has different aesthetic. Looks like a different kind of feel. I mean, Arcane shooters do feel different. What's the word for it? Would it be heavier?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess heavier. Yeah. So
Heavy,
if it's
clunky, depends on how you look at it.
if it has that kind of feel to it, then it'll at least make things interesting, I guess. So looking forward to what Microsoft has coming up in 2023. Let's get that event going. Let's get some release dates out. Evan, we have a Discord question over there.
When it comes to the desire to play retro games on their original hardware, do you feel satisfied enough using just the original controller, or do they truly need to be running on the original console as well?
I personally I've got my space set up here. I hooked up my GameCube, hooked up some of my older systems, got like a little retro HDMI switcher thingy and all that. And I like using the actual
Gotta go
system.
full out. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to go full out. I get that, but I like using my PS3 controller, my actual PS3 that I have, my GameCube with my actual GameCube controller. I actually like using the hardware and just playing that way. I know it's maybe not as optimal as other ways, but to me, that's just been awesome to be able to do that now. So I like the original hardware.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you can pull it off with original hardware, that's great. But if you can get a controller that feels pretty good too, I feel like most people would be happy with that. With emulation's really good now.
Yeah,
for
emulation.
A lot of these games.
It's super good. Like it's great. It's just I don't know. There's something I kind of also want to like go back. I usually do it on Sundays. Sundays I will play like my old school stuff. Like I played GameCube last Sunday, and it's just like I don't know. It brings me back a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
playing the game like in this way that's like all souped up and fixed up. You know.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe like it's like driving like an old car compared to like driving like the newest car. I don't know, Sean. Have you ever done that? I used to work at a car company, so it's like there's certain times like you drive like an older car and it just feels a certain way compared to driving everything that just feels perfect. You know.
I have an older car that runs like shit.
Yeah.
That was your
and you
fault.
feel a certain way when you drive it. You know.
Yeah. Like I need a cigarette.
You have another Discord question, Evan?
Have you guys noticed any RNG bugs with Pokemon Scarlet or Violet? For instance, moves with a 95% hit rate will inexplicably miss several times in a row, or fully weakened, paralyzed, low-level Pokemon will repeatedly break out of the ball despite overwhelming odds, favoring a success.
Oh, that
What?
just
That
happens to me all
game
the time in Pokemon.
That game has bugs? Since when?
It is bug
I don't
type.
think that's a bug or a glitch. I think that's just it. You just got unlucky.
That's just
'Cause
happened to me in the history of Pokemon in
This
general.
This is the history of Pokemon, what you just described. This is the full retrospective from Pokemon Red and Blue all the way up until this point.
The two games with probabilities that would always mess with me would be Pokemon and XCOM. Those are the two.
You had to mash.
XCOM
You
was
had to
worse
mash the button to increase your chance of doing things.
I thought it was you got to hold up and
You gotta
B.
hold the B, you gotta mash the B, you gotta do. There's been all sorts.
Put the system down,
Maybe-
dance in a circle.
Yeah, maybe you're just cursed, bud. Sorry. Bad luck.
Listen, I remember in 2000, I was at the Pokemon League, and that happened to me in the semifinals match. Literally happened to me. Like where my move missed, it's like a 95, and I'm like, you can't. You've got to be like, it happens at the worst times. Like literally, the Pokemon League. This was for like a $10 gift card and like a pack of Pokemon cards. So this was big stakes
Not
back
the
then.
$10, man.
Yes,
Oh.
$10 Toys R Us and a pack of Pokemon cards, man. I still remember. That's how traumatizing it was.
We had XCOM where you have the gun right in the person's face, and it's like miss. That was the worst. But yeah, Pokemon is.
I'm pretty sure there were hidden
Sometimes.
negatives in that one though, because you'd get up close to them, it'd be 99%. You'd miss 100 shots in a row. It's just like, all right.
Yeah. You have another Discord question, Evan?
What's the dumbest thing you've done to a console and not realizing it was user error? Recently, this person realized you could change the brightness for the backlit GBA. He'd been tearing through batteries prior to this point.
Oh. That'd be user. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people who were putting the PS5 disc in upside down. Because the way it looks when it's standing up, it doesn't make sense to like your mind at first.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what would be user error. That
All
I
the kids trying to
realized.
pay for Xbox Live by putting money into the disc slot.
All the people trying to rip their GameCube disc out without pressing the button down.
I remember way back when the Wavebirds first came out with GameCube. A bunch of people, especially if you had friends over, they would accidentally put their controllers on the same channel.
Oh man!
and then they'd like sometimes it would connect, so you'd be like controlling the other person. They'd be like, why am I moving? And then my sisters would come in and be like, what's going on? I'm like, did you put it on separate channels? And they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you gotta do the different channels.
Mm-hmm.
You have another question, Evan?
Generally, how long before a console's release do dev kits go out?
Oh, MVG would be perfect for this.
He would
Well,
be.
you know, it comes out a couple months beforehand so that the developers can start using the Carbon engine on their different devices that they have to port over Carbon engine
An
games.
interview with the Beatles.
Thank you, MVG. You have another one, Evan?
Beatles rock band. Let's go.
Let's see. If Nintendo's next console has backwards compatibility with Switch games that also improves resolution, FPS, etc., what games would you like to revisit first?
All of them.
Bayonetta 3. I'd like
No,
to see
Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors.
Warriors,
Hyrule
Age
Warriors.
of Calamity.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah. Definitely.
Because I really like Age of Calamity, and it would be a lot better if it was cleaned up. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pokemon. I definitely check Pokemon. Violet.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd get an update though.
We'll see. I mean, if it just people overclock their Switch and it smoothed out some of the stuff, so just even that. Let me go over here to some of the super chats. T-Joe says, I know none of them are beginner friendly, but let's not forget Trails to Azure and Trails into Reverie regarding our 2023 most anticipated lists.
For the longest time, I always thought the games were trials. Like
Yeah, I messed
Trials
that
of
up.
Cold Steel.
Yeah,
I'm
messed
an
that
idiot.
up. Yeah, no, I messed that up when I first started getting into the franchise. When I was covering it back in the day, I used to say the same thing. So not alone.
Jack says Final Fantasy 2 is superior to Final Fantasy 2. I agree. Dork says, shout outs to the Elite Ninja Village sends its regards. Thank you, Nintendo.
Thank you.
Blue Knight says, first, I've been a fan since episode 1 here to another 300. Wow. You should invite VG Mobster. Third, Chained Echoes for Indie Game of the Year at the next VGA. Chained Echoes surprised a lot of people. Sean was like, what is this game? He looked it up. He made fun of it. Now everyone's all talking.
Chained Echoes absolutely needs to be nominated. It is incredible experience. We've got Sea of Stars coming out in June as well. So
Sea of Stars looks good.
Yeah, it might be a packed indie RPG category, this year. So yeah, absolutely.
None of those games will get nominated.
What, for indie?
Yeah.
Chained Echoes will absolutely get nominated. It has like a
People are going to forget
it has like a
about the
90
time
something
it
average
comes
on
around.
like Meta right now.
Yeah, but it's got time
When did it
between
come out,
now
though?
and then.
It came out in December.
December. So it's gonna I'm telling you, it's gonna get nominated. Watch. Wait and see.
What's that?
It's gonna get nominated.
Sean was talking all that smack on Chained Echoes. Now look at it.
Really good.
Myth says, sounds like the dawn of the Smash Bros. Universe. Noah says, if Zelda and Metroid are adapted, they should both be in an anime style, like Edge Runners.
That'd be cool. Edge Runners was good.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Surprised we didn't bring that up earlier. Actually, Edge Runners was. I got a bunch of people playing Cyberpunk.
I did bring up.
Oh,
Edge
did
Runners.
you? Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess I was just
You
ignoring
always
you.
tune me out, Click.
It did get a lot of people playing Cyberpunk, though. You're right. I turned that game around completely just from
Yeah.
a Netflix series. Spyro says Mario after credits scene could hint at Zelda. Oh boy, should we bring the Zelda universe and the Mario universe together?
They didn't do it for Mario Kart and stuff. I could see that. You know, they did.
Okay.
What was it, Bowser and Wreck-It Ralph? So.
You know what
I
they
could
should
see it.
do? They should announce a Switch game for the first time in the Mario movie.
Oh, like the wizard.
Yeah, that's what they
Maybe
should
an
do.
Easter egg. I don't know about a full-out announcement, but have it as an Easter egg.
Do something in there. Announce the new Mario Kart right at the end where they're on the Mario tracks. There you go. This is from Peeps saying, I think Square Enix will release the Final Fantasy Pixel Perfect Physical, but broken up. 1 through 3, $40, 4 and 5, $50, and then 6 is $60. Ooh, okay. What about that? Although they handled that very strangely, so we'll see when it actually shows up. Liam says, with the recent ruling on misleading trailers for movies, do you think that could also apply to games, and a Metal Gear Solid 2 situation would work today? The issue is the movies in general, like Hollywood, they're not as secretive, I guess, as games, as the gaming space. Like people get really annoyed about leaks and stuff, whereas on the movie side, Hollywood, they'll just announce a movie years and years and years before it's even a thing, when it's conceptual phase. Hey, we're doing this, and that's it. Games will try to keep
you
it
can hit the
quiet for a while.
IMDb page. It'll tell you the entire
Yeah.
cast and who they're playing, so you know who the villains are. You're like, all right, good.
They did get away with a lot though for Metal Gear Solid 2. I'll tell you that. Some of the, even in magazine prints and all this, they photoshopped a lot. So let's see. This is from Ethan saying, isn't there a lot of disability stigma in Japan? I mean, Mona is clearly disabled, but they don't fully acknowledge it. I am not sure.
I wouldn't know
I wish I could
about-
tell you. I'm not sure though.
I'll ask Genki though. He lives there and he knows American culture, and he's Japanese mixed. He's black and Japanese, so he kind of knows a bit of both. So I'll ask him about that, because I'm interested to actually know about that.
Yeah, that'd be.
John O, shout out. John O, big donation saying Happy New Year, congrats, click. And hope your website was the best way to donate to help the move situation. Way to go, Sean, on being smoke free. Cheers to a healthy and prosperous year for all of you.
Thank you.
Shout out to John O over there. Big supporter there. Nerd Crave says, watch Spawncast episode 4 yesterday. Could you reflect on how far you've come since then? How many subs do you each have back then? And did you ever see the show hitting 300 episodes? Episode 4? That'd be 296 weeks ago. It's a long time ago.
No, it was a long time ago.
You have quite a few more kids.
Yeah. Episode 4, 200. Wow. I don't know. Episode 300 now that I'm really thinking about it, that's a lot of episodes, because that's each one is a week basically.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of episodes, man.
Yeah, since that, I mean, so I don't even know how many subs we had then when we were just starting the podcast off. It wasn't that many. I don't know. It's come a long way. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff has happened. We'll talk. Maybe we'll reflect on it when we get to episode 1000. How far off is that? What's that? 700 episodes? 700 more weeks? That's not too bad.
No biggie.
Bad Gamer says, I have been getting into streaming my PC to my phone on my 1.5 hour bus ride to work, but I was wondering how much that affects my Xfinity data limit. They're probably really mad at you. Now, my PC phone 1.5 hour bus ride.
That's bus ride. God.
It depends. Well, phone to PC on my 1.5 hour. I guess it depends on what you're streaming, because I think Stadia was pretty bad, and that was one of the reasons they said Comcast will catch up, and everyone laughed, and now Stadia is not a thing anymore. So
it depends on the bit rate. Like, are you streaming like a 480p image? Like,
I think for a lot of phones through like xCloud or game streaming, it's 720p, and I feel like that a lot of that has to do with them trying to cut down on data usage.
1 hour.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I know with Stadia was a lot. It was to the point where people were like, "Ooh, that you'll actually hit your data cap at home doing this," or the suggested data cap that you have, which is like a terabyte. Let's see, Wonk says, my dad got my mom a Switch for her birthday with Mario Kart and Switch Sports. Any recommendation for games for people new to the medium. We play Wii Sports every year at Christmas. That's it for them. I think Animal Crossing's a pretty good one to pick up.
Clubhouse game.
Clubhouse game. Oh, that's a good one.
That's good.
That's a great one.
Clubhouse is a really good one, actually. Yeah.
I mean, Mario Party, Mario Kart.
Bayonetta 3.
Shut up.
No.
Yeah, you put what's the filter on there? You put the filter on there, makes it safe for everyone in the house to just watch and play.
Don't.
Also, I mean, you can get a Mario sports game like a golf or a tennis, and that's I think that works well for like the mechanics are
tennis is better than golf.
the mechanics are good enough easy enough to pick up, and
You might as well
it's
just play
light,
Switch Sports then.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if they really like tennis on it and they want a bit more, you can go to Mario Tennis. But Scott says, in my opinion, they nerfed sniping way too much in Warzone. I guess it depends. There's some pretty funny shots that happen.
What do you mean by nerf? Can you still one-shot headshot?
I think it's because if you hit them and they have full armor, it knocks their armor out completely, but it doesn't kill them. So you have to hit them again. But that's one of the reasons you get like the extra armors for snipers towards the end. But I mean, I've had some shots where I hit them when they're running and they do almost a backflip falling backwards because they got hit so hard. So it's still there. It's still there.
I think it depends on how much armor you have, like what tier.
Yeah, I don't know if they lowered the damage or not. I mean, this game is updating constantly, so who knows?
Yeah.
Christopher says, "Can I have your last pack and a half, RGT?"
I mean, maybe.
Switch says, "What up, cast? I hear Xenoblade 3 would have actually been good if it had Ease 8 battle mechanics. Thoughts? LMAO, always a good time with you guys."
Yeah,
was somebody saying that?
No, nobody.
Oh.
It must have been. I think I've heard that in one of my streams. Somebody said, I think, but the person that said it was being serious. He's joking around, but somebody said that. It would have been better.
What was the comment?
Xenoblade 3 would have been better if it had Ease 8 combat style.
Oh, 100%.
All Xenoblade 3?
I played Xenoblade 2, I played Xenoblade X, and I played Xenoblade 1. And Xenoblade would be better. I like Ease 8's combat way better than I like Xenoblade's.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I know the combat. What's the difference?
Xenoblade's much better.
Then Ease 8?
Xenoblade's
Ease 8 is an action.
Ease.
It's an action RPG where you actually like do stuff. You don't just sit there and press A like to do your special thing and line up everyone's attacks and stuff. You control all the individual characters.
Thing. I'm glad you have a very in-depth knowledge of Xenoblade's combat, John. Thank you for that. You taught me how to play Xenoblade now.
No problem.
Mitchell says, "You guys should get addicted to League of Legends while RGT is in irritable mode.
No,
It'd be
don't do
amazing
it.
to watch the rage."
No, don't. Last thing he needs to do is get into a MOBA. Are you kidding me? Do you want this man to have a cardiac arrest?
He does scream a lot with Warzone already, but it is funny. Like it is a funny thing to witness. So he doesn't really yell at anyone. He just yells into the void as it's happening, and he's getting murdered on one side of the map.
He's teabagging me. He's teabagging me.
Well, you can't. There's not really much teabagging in Call of Duty.
Yeah, that was the Halo thing.
Oh,
where
I
he
was
would,
just quoting your Halo. Yeah.
Yeah, he would just stop dead sentence and just start yelling about somebody crouching on top of him over and over again. Fist says, "Congrats on 300 episodes. May I get John's and everyone's favorite yogurt recipes?"
I don't make yogurt.
John actually-
frozen yogurt for me.
John has a cow in his backyard.
Yogurt recipes. Yeah, I don't make the yogurt. I use yogurt. I don't make it.
Yeah, I don't. You know, frozen yogurt's incredible. There's a place in the mall, and they have espresso. Oh my god, yo, it's so good. Espresso with some cookies and cream. Best frozen yogurt.
Oh no, man. When I go to get frozen yogurt, I go for like they call it European tart, I guess some places, but the taro.
Yeah,
the taro root. I just do that with a bunch of fruit and then those boba burst and
my
balls.
wife, she does that, but I kind of like I don't know, I'm kind of more of a I like putting M&Ms in there, so like that's like I want M&Ms.
But that's like ice cream for me, like the dairy.
Yeah, that's what I want. But it's not frozen yogurt.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know.
No, I see
one's
what you're
fruit,
saying.
one's like chocolate and dairy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My wife gets what you get. She likes all that stuff.
Yeah.
I skip right past it and go to the marshmallows and go to
purpose.
Marshmallows. I go to the M&Ms. I go to all that stuff. I'm like, heck yeah. Might go tomorrow.
But at home, I just do like the Chobani Greek yogurt, and then I'll do berries. So blackberries, blueberries, raspberries with some granola and some honey. That stuff is fire.
Xbox has no game says in lieu of the 35th anniversary, what are the casts? Even RPG 85 top 6 Final Fantasy characters. Top 6 Final Fantasy characters.
I don't know that many
list
characters.
A bunch here, including Zack,
Sid.
Tidus, Terra. Okay, so they're already naming VV. Oh, they're
Sid.
naming a bunch of Sid.
Looks
Sid's
like
a good
Sid.
Sid's a good one. Sid's a good one. What about Waka? No love for
Flock of Flame.
Waka?
Who was the little dude in 10? What was his name?
The little dude in 10.
The main dude in 10.
Tidus?
Yeah.
There you go. You're
Why
gonna
do you
pick Tidus. No
don't
love
like
for Cloud?
Tidus.
No Cloud?
Cloud's
he a-
fine.
Cloud? Sephiroth?
That's fine. Sephiroth's
Man.
Is he
fine.
a little dude? I think you're talking about Final Fantasy 9. Zidane or whatever? I think you're talking about Final Fantasy 9.
Tonberry's number 1.
Tonberry's number. Okay, okay. I'm behind Tonberry.
'Cause-
No
Yeah.
Squall? Man.
Although
Wow.
all the Final Fantasy protagonists aren't incredibly tall or anything, or most of them aren't really tall or anything like that. Except for like, I think, wait, no, none of them are really tall. None of them are like over like 5'8" or 5'9". Most of them are, they're all shorter.
Goofy.
Throne says Stalker 2 comes out this year for the Series X. So does Atomic Heart. Stalker 2 is Unreal Engine 5 game. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking they might be. Like, I'd like to see them get it out before the end of the year, but they got a lot of stuff happening right now. So Stalker 2 will be here when it gets here. But Atomic Heart was kind of BioShocky to me, so I'm interested in that one.
That's not the actual.
Counts. It counts.
What's that?
That's not the normal version of it.
It still counts though. I just checked.
That is not the normal version of time. He's like, what's that? Final Fantasy Maxima or something? What version of is that? Kingdom Hearts?
I think it was Kingdom. Yeah, it's Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, it's Kingdom Hearts.
Good Chaos says, do you think we are going to get info on the next Dragon Age or Mass Effect anytime soon? E3's coming up this year. You got that EA Play event, maybe? Maybe?
I hope the Greg guy hosts it.
You could come back, show
awesome.
Dragon Age, Mass Effect. We roll into 2024 with those big releases. Be pretty sweet. We'll see. Jalen says this is Spawncast and 8 exclamation points. Thank you, Jalen. Myth says Persona 6 in a college or university setting. Oh, Persona 6 will definitely be in some kind of school setting. Hits Overhype says been watching videos about most anticipated 2023 games, but why is no one talking about Stellar Blade? We've seen actual gameplay and it looks insane.
I have talked about Stellar Blade multiple times on the channel, so for all of your RPG information, you can check out my channel.
There you go.
But the reason why is because it is it looks cool, but there's not a lot of information about the game. It's a new IP. We don't know how it's going to play. The developers are not proven, like we can't reference anything from them. So all we're at the mercy of when they decide to show stuff. Ever since Sony took over, so now it's Sony's game, right? They're publishing it. They haven't really shown a ton of new stuff. It looks cool, but we don't know anything about their pedigree when it comes to what they can do with this type of game. So like if it was like Platinum, then we'd be like, there'd be more people talking about it, but it's not. It's like some developer, was it Korean developer? Something like that. I think they made mobile games. I'm not really sure. But that's the reason why it's not getting as much hype. But if the game is good, don't worry. People are gonna be talking about it because it looks incredible. Graphically, it looks incredible. Although the gameplay, if you watch it like for real, there's like really weird like hit detection and jank in what they've shown so far. But it's old footage though. So it doesn't look particularly incredible outside of just visually, but the combat, there's some stuff, if you just slow it down and look, there's a few things here and there, but it's early. So let's wait till they actually, get the final build and, they show it off more, maybe like an overview trailer. And I think the hype will go up now that it's a, Sony exclusive. So
Eric says, what are games you've bought twice? So like digital or physical?
Oh God,
everything.
Well, most recently, Crisis Core Reunion. Got that on 2 different systems. Sonic Frontiers, I got that on 2 different systems.
Yeah.
A lot of it's like, how does the Switch version run? Well, I guess we'll find out, and I'll make a video on it. That's basically it.
Literally think the only game I've bought twice. I don't really buy games twice. I think maybe Death Stranding. I think that's it. That's literally the only game recently I'm out of memory. Because I wanted to try it on a PC, and then when my 3090 came out, I wanted to try it on the 3090.
Nimbus says, what's the better game series to pick up, Xenoblade or Persona? Big fan of Dragon Quest. Also, happy 300. I mean,
I go with ease.
Those are 2 really good. I mean, those 2 really good series.
Persona is by far the more critically acclaimed series. Like overall, the reviews are better there, but it's really going to be based on whether you like, what do you prefer, more turn-based or more of a simulator action? Because that's what Xenoblade does. Xenoblade is very complex. It's got mechanics on mechanics. You do press more than one button to do certain things. There's a lot of mechanics in the game in terms of how Xenoblade works. Like you can play it very casually, you know, and just basically just auto attack and just press buttons, or you can kind of just stack the mechanics and do all sorts of crazy stuff, especially Xenoblade 3. So it's really going to just depend on that. Persona is super, like, it's simplistic in nature, but then it has depth with its turn-based mechanics too. So it's really going to be based on whether you like turn-based or whether you like action. Like, it's really going to be that, man. If you've played FF12, yeah, 12. If you played FF12, that is maybe one of the more similar things to Xeno. You know, or if you played SMT, obviously that's Persona, right? SMT, Persona, so games like that. So
Robert says, a bit off topic, but I have a question for OJ. What do you think of Brock Purdy? I've been a 49ers fan forever, in my opinion. I think he needs to be the new starter.
Yeah. If he plays well throughout the playoffs, or, you know, if he plays well, then yeah, absolutely. You need to, you know, make him the starter. However, if he does not play very well, then it should be an open competition with Trey Lance. And I don't know, John, if you want to add to that or not.
That's good. That's good. Hellman says, episode 300 and the whole crew isn't here. I don't know where everyone is. No,
kind of snuck up, to be honest. I feel like between
kind of did.
It's because the last 2 episodes were pre-recorded.
True.
I don't even think I uploaded the new.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of the holiday. It landed on a weird time because like the holidays were right there, and then it's like here's episode 300 now.
Yeah.
So first live episode of the new year, actually. So. And Joel, big donation says, I'm surprised no one is excited for Starfield. Are you guys not Skyrim or Fallout fans? Even though they're buggy, they're excellent games.
Bethesda has actively made me less interested.
I'm looking forward to it.
Every time.
I think there's just still enough time in between now and then. You know what I mean? To like get excited for it, but also like I do want to see a little bit more.
I like Skyrim more than Fallout, but I have wondered what it's like in space with these kind of games from Bethesda. So I'm excited for it. I'm trying to figure out if I'm okay, it's coming out in 5 months excited, or it's going to be end of the year excited. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of big AAA games coming out like soon, or like big games that are like, you know, that are coming soon that we know the dates and everything. We've seen a bunch of gameplay and all that. So
I think also we have been burned in the past, because now every time I hear West Virginia, I get sad because I literally remember how much hype there was for Fallout 76 and how much of a disappointment
the thing was, even though it came out really bad, there were still people clinging to it like, no, it's good, you guys don't understand. And it's like,
yeah, it's fine. Like, even for example, like I remember going to TwitchCon and they had like a giant Bethesda booth and that song was blasting, and it was like when the song would blast and you know the chorus would come on and everybody was so excited. It was just like a huge attraction. And then the game came out and it's like all those sweet memories are cool memories now, but it's like, damn, we were so naive, like sweet poor baby innocent babies. We had no idea what a disappointment it was going to be on launch. So I think a lot of us are just kind of like, we'll see when it gets here.
I think for Joel, when they give us a new release date, and I can't imagine they would delay it again after that. Once they get that locked in, when they get it locked in, and we're getting a little closer, then it's gonna probably be a bit more excitement around it. I just think there's a lot of unknown as to when it's coming out still, even though they keep saying first half of 2023. So that's my biggest thing. I'm excited and interested in the idea of what they're doing with it, but gotta see that release date. Clear Gnome says Spawnwave is the original Xbox worth modding. It is. Yeah, I think it's a good time to pick one up too, because there's some new stuff happening in the soft modding or even hard modding scene technically, where we're replacing the whole BIOS, doing all kinds of stuff. You're gonna see different controllers be used for the Xbox. It's almost like the Xbox homebrew is starting now, is how big this modification is.
Especially for arcade games. That thing was legit for the
Yep.
Neo Geo stuff.
Got that in coin ops. It was good. It was good. Indie game Callan Shaw Indie Game says happy 2023 all, waiting for my first kid in April. John, as a father, which console do I start him on? I mean, you can start with the classic, with the original Nintendo.
The Leapfrog.
NES, baby.
The 2D stuff is just easier to pick up and start with. The 3D can be kind of weird at first, but I found Kirby, even the new Kirby, was actually pretty good. And that was a good entry point into 3D, because you don't really move the camera around or any of that necessarily. It kind of takes care of itself. So that's good. But really, you get started with the 8-bit, the 16-bit era, that 2D era.
I think
that's
it
the
gives
good way
them
to go.
more of an appreciation too for the evolution over time. If you kind of get them to play those, you know
And
what I mean?
Also, you got to remember, you don't want to give them a lot of games you have to read a ton in or any of that. They just want to play the game. So it's you just get a Mario, Mega Man, any of that, and they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
With Lost Odyssey right away.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. I was trial by fire, baby. Let's go. Boom, breath of fire. First one.
There you go. Ethan says, I love Stadia. I'm so sad. At least I got a Steam Deck with my refund. Hey, that's the one thing they did give everyone their money back. So the refunds were going through.
I didn't even ask for my money back, and they gave it back.
Yeah, they just dropped it in.
They're like, hey, you've got hundreds of. I was like, thank you.
There you go. Tom says, bringing MySpace back 2023.
You can do it.
There you go, Tom Anderson. You get it.
Make an app.
Tijo says, happy 300. How do you plan to deal with YouTube's stupid monetization guidelines? Also, Evan, why is advertisement the first two letters blocked?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because that's what everyone types as advertisement for like the bots. That's what they go to. He play YouTube. I don't know. It's so hit or miss still with the. I assume they're talking about, Sean, the thing you mentioned in your video about the age gating and stuff that they're doing right now.
Oh yeah. I think it's just gonna get worse.
I feel like you have to cut out the violent content, or maybe people will just put funny things over it. Like if there's like someone gets hit and like blood spews out, they just have it look like it's just rainbow colors coming out or something. I don't know. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
I feel like whenever somebody asks this question, I feel like it's like Pinky in the Brain. What we always do, you know? It's like what we always do, Pinky. You know, like it's the same thing. We just do the same thing, and whatever happens.
I will tell you, there was part of a Deathloop trailer, and Evan and I figured this out. That I think it was when in the trailer, someone has their neck broken.
Yeah, he comes up behind him and he like stabs him in the neck, or like snaps their neck right in front of the camera.
That got hit with the limited advertisement every time. It got the yellow dollar sign every time. We had to cut that 5 seconds of the trailer out so it wouldn't. It was very weird. Like that just, I don't know, set something off in the system. So it seems like they've kind of ramped that up a bit. Whatever the detection is, they took it like to the next level.
Because they turned it down because it was screwing over all the Call of Duty players who were using YouTube as like a source of income, and then they were like, nope, demonetized all of you, and it just ruined the whole
like
community.
The kids are my audience. What are you doing? Yeah. And Charlie says, what I would give for a Sakura Wars collection on Switch in English. The fans are translating the second one on Saturn. It's also announced on Sega Saturn. Shiro, interesting.
What Sega would do for that series to actually sell? I mean,
yeah. Anthony says, Spawncast crew, is your PS5 vertical or horizontal? Mine is horizontal.
Non-existent.
Mine's vertical.
Vertical.
Horizontal now.
I have a video coming out for that on my second channel, I think. Discuss that situation a bit more. Evan, we have Discord questions over there. I'll check Streamlabs before we.
Yeah, we still got 3
finish
left.
up.
Does anyone have any video game related tattoos or plan on getting any in the future?
Video game tattoos.
Yeah, this is.
Where's Jordan when you need him?
Yeah, that seems like a Jordan. He's at MagFest right now.
He's got Fallout. What does he got? He's got Spyro. He's got. Oh man, he's got. I think he's got a lot.
I'm
Yeah, I haven't
scared of
gotten
needles.
I haven't gotten in a tattoo game, so
This guy's been posting.
I don't like needles
Oh,
either.
the second John gets into tattoos, it's over.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
The full body, the
It's
straight
over for all
Yakuza
of
from the
us.
neck
I'll end up
down.
here looking like a cage fighter at some point.
Yeah, John with the sleeve. That'd actually be kind of lit though.
Yeah, dude, full body,
It's
neck
over.
down, just straight down, just all tattoos. Be
It
great.
sounds like a midlife crisis option. That or a car. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think you might have a midlife crisis if you decided to do that, John. That might trigger a midlife crisis.
Yeah, right.
Your wife, first and foremost. Let's start with her.
Yeah. We have another one, Evan.
We have someone who's thinking of getting a PS5 bundled with an Insomniac game, but he's wondering if he should wait because of a potential limited edition or new model or sale price that might be coming up soon, depending on what we think.
I don't think you're seeing sales because if they package a game with it, they just push the price up anyway. So I'd like Sony to just do their plates on the side. I mean, you can already get a nice red plates for the side if you want that. Make it a couple kind of Spider-Man themed. But at this point, if you find a PS5, you might as well pick it up. But they do have, I think there's a revision coming out later this year for it, as weird as that sounds, but it's supposed to be the one with the optional disk drive on the side. That might be the one to wait for, just to see how they change the inside before you decide on what to pick up. And then you have the last one, Evan.
This is a question based on, I guess, sort of BioWare and Anthem and all that. Why does BioWare not sell their failed IPs to other mid-tier companies who can work on it and re-release it? BioWare have done the heavy lifting. Smaller shop can build on that, strengthen the story and some mechanics, game loops, and maybe resurrect a failed IP with a ton of potential. I feel like a lot of big game companies have not sold their failed IPs.
I'd rather shelve it, and who knows, maybe come back to it.
Yeah,
20 years down the line.
By EA.
In
I feel like
in AAA companies, I feel like there's more value in a at least relatively fleshed out IP idea, like under your belt, to just
if
use
you wanted to
whenever.
do something, if you want to do something later on. But trends also might change too, so it could always be something where they want to recycle a universe or an idea of some sort into another form. Versus if you get rid of it, it's kind of like the concept of like why a lot of us save our electronic boxes, because if we want to like sell it or have it like neatly packaged, you put it back in there. If you're gonna move, you put it back in the box or something. In reality, most of us never really end up using it again,
Yeah.
and it kind of just sits there. But I think it's just like the insurance of what if.
Yeah, what if? And there's no you don't need the money. Like whatever money you get is not going to be life changing for that IP. You rather hold on to it and be more valuable as a company because you have it, or simply just so you, like you said, so you can use it later. Plus, a lot of these companies do take pitches. So I mean, like a lot of them, like if you have a good pitch, if a company does have a good pitch for X or Y game, they can go to EA and see if they can get that made. Now it's probably going to get turned down. But Nintendo does receive pitches all the time for all of their dead IPs. They end up turning them down, but there's been like legitimate, like the guy that, what is he made? Helped make Star Fox. He has an F-Zero game, a pitch that's like 60 frames and great. I'm running on Switch, but they turned it down, so, but that's what they're going to do. So it's really what it comes down to.
Charlie Ward says John's body is ready. Bring on the tattoo. We'll see. And then Joshua says remix Sound Voltics, Exceed Gear, and Poppin' Music. Playable Konami games at round ones. Check them out. Then RGC, you're good since I told you.
He told me.
Okay, good stuff. Let me go around here. There was 3 messages over on Streamlabs I wanted to get to as well. Let me start with Miss Click. I'll let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks again to everybody who's been so sweet and supportive as I get back into, I guess, the online scape. I will be back on Monday, so very excited for that. But you can find me on YouTube as Misclick Gaming, or you can find me where I will be live on Twitch at twitch.tv/misclick_live. Other than that, you can follow me on social media as Misclick. And yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. It's good to be back and glad that we're all here. Not here tonight, but everybody's doing their stuff. So
Let me go over to OJ. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Got some cool videos coming up. Obviously, big RPGs coming out this month, Persona and stuff. So I'll be having full coverage on that. So if you're into Nintendo or RPGs, you want to hear more about Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy 16, I'll be covering all that. And I do live streams pretty much daily, like 5-6 days out of the week as well. Hit 100K. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you guys for all that. And yeah, more content, more videos, more awesome RPG stuff coming. So thank you. Giveaway going down on my Twitter account, but if you subscribe, yeah, there's a giveaway going down for a Switch, my 5,000 Switch I've given away.
So you have a Streamlab message from Yes, just says yo. Hello, Yes.
Yo.
Yes, that guy's awesome, by the way. He's actually pretty cool. Shout out to Yes.
Just Ken Lee says, Happy New Year, everyone. Considering more game franchises are having projects beyond games, are there any franchises you think has the potential to be as big beyond games like Mario and Pokemon? Definitely Anthem. There you go. Gotta get figured out the IP. That'd be as potentially be as big beyond games like Mario and Pokemon. I wanted to say Halo, but they destroyed that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a shame too to see that. Man, Halo would have been the big one. I'm trying to think of what out of Sony, because they're doing The Last of Us. They're doing Gran Turismo now.
I think Days Gone could have been a good television show. It probably, I mean, it kind of
Very
was.
similar to Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
This is from Blad says, is there any way to get you all addicted to League of Legends and form a ranked team? Would be majestic to see all the rage.
I don't want to.
They're hitting both fronts. Streamlabs and on they really want us to play League of Legends.
Listen,
I'm good.
I gave up that life. Okay, the only MOBA I kind of play on PC is HOTS, and then while I've been sick, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite. League is just a whole other animal, okay? Because then you start becoming the very thing you hate, okay? So for everybody's sake, and for my sake, and for the future generation's sake, you don't want to see us play League. All right.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough of that game to know that I am good, and I am just gonna stay away. I will watch other people ruin their mental, though. It is very entertaining to watch other people destroy their mental, but I will stay far, far away. Unless you want to pay me directly, I'm gonna need to see a couple zeros too.
There you go.
Someone said play Smite. I have been playing Smite. Again, it's just very dangerous territory.
Ethan says not farming out IP or later revivals. Kid Icarus. That's true. Yeah, showed up on the 3DS after a long time. And then Devil Cookie says happy 300 and congrats on Click's awesome news. Yay.
Thank you.
Evan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kimmerix Project for anything I'm really doing. I'm trying to revive, I guess, one of my channels, but that might not happen soon-ish. I'm trying to get some stuff together.
Evan's got a cool idea going for a channel, so when he's ready to launch it, he'll tell everyone. It'll be cool.
Sir.
It's also very specific, so I don't expect everyone to be okay with it, but it's fine.
It's still kind of in like the nerd culture thing,
Yeah.
so it's
Also,
cool.
I'm gonna just post up our merch shop because 300.
Go check it out. 300 is up. There you go. And then Sean, after show tonight.
Yeah, we'll run it for a little bit.
Okay, there you go. You want to let everyone know where they can find you?
You can find me on RGT85. I have a video going up tomorrow. Yep.
You're gonna yell at some people again, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Good to be back for the year. We'll be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Should have more people with us. We'll see you guys then.